John Bentley.
Yo, what's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck back with another Cowboys fans only episode. So go ahead, if you're new, comment, like, subscribe somewhere down there, and be sure to turn on that notification bell. But yo, I got some guys here with me, and I want to welcome, man, because this guy, man, he's one of the knowledgeable guys, man, who I follow constantly, especially when it comes to this draft content, man. And this is his first time on the show, to be honest with you. So I'd like to welcome my guy, Boss Cowboy, man. What's going on, bro?
Man, what's going on, Jay Tuck, man? I'm a big fan of you too, man. So, you know, it's always a respectful way to meet. And, you know, I always want to kind of, you know, like my boy BJ always say, it's a protocol way to kind of introduce yourself. And I think we went about it right. Like, you know, there was no Bogart on either side. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you joining in. Like I said, big fan, man. And Nix, I'm a fan of yours too. You know?
Hey, you already know, man. Hey, this is my brother here, man. We gets it in. You already know what it is.
Yeah, what's going on, fam? But before we get started, boss man, go ahead and let the people know where they can find you at, get all your information. We'll get that taken care of first and foremost.
Yeah, man, let's do that. So, yeah, y'all can definitely find me on Boss Cowboy Sports, especially on Facebook, but you'll also see me on YouTube as well under Boss Cowboy Sports, Instagram, Boss Cowboy Sports. The Twitter handle is backwards, is Cowboy_Boss. Right. So you're going to see me, and I'm growing on Twitter a lot more now, so you're going to see a lot on that, but we got a show tomorrow, and it's going to be pretty in-depth. We go into some in-depth stuff, but yeah, that's where you'll be able to find me. So thank you everybody for following us, and then make sure you go hit that like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And he got that fire intro, and the boss got that fire intro.
Yeah, man, putting in work, man, putting in work.
It's work.
Yeah, it's work. And I think that's what it is, man. A lot of people don't understand the work it goes into this. Like, you know, the production y'all seeing right now, it's my off season. You know, I said, you know what, we're going to make it real easy, you know, and laid back. But once things pick up, man, we'll turn it up a notch, man. But Nix, go ahead and let them know where they can find you at, bro.
Yeah, man. Instagram and Twitter, just as you see it, at @your_guy_Nix, man. Come give me a follow. Come holler at me. Also on Facebook, it's going to be Stargang is the group and the page. Like and follow the page. Come join the group. And on the old YouTube, Stargate Podcast, man. Hit the sub and the notification bell as well. And I finally got Boss to follow me back on Twitter. So
man, yeah, man. After you cuss me out, man, you go cuss me out, call me all kind of MFs and sons of bees and everything. See, and what's in that cup?
Oh, just coffee. Just
okay. Because you know, because I already know, depending on what you drink, it's depending how you gonna talk to me about 2 hours in. So I already know about you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And then for y'all
Weekday.
tuning in, for the first time, man, hit me up on Twitter at JTuck151 and also on my YouTube channel, Cowboys Fans Only. Comment, like, subscribe, man. So we're gonna get into it. And we spoke about this last night, Knicks and length, man. But I want to get bosses to chime in on this. I saw what you and Tyson West Coast, shots to my guy West Coast, did last night with Quincy Carter. So you guys kind of briefly touched on it. But I want to get your thoughts, boss, on this whole situation going on with Dak that we saw yesterday. And also, what's your thoughts, man, moving forward? Do you think Dak Prescott's going to be a Dallas Cowboy for the foreseeable future?
Yeah. So the thoughts on what's going on right now, the first part of that question, it's to me the typical Joneses knowing how to stay in the headlines. And at this point, everybody's tired of it because we was more patient with Zeke who.
Right.
We was more patient when they came out and spoke against Lawrence when he was in negotiations, right? When he said, you are no Khalil Mack and he's no Von Miller.
Right.
And so we was all patient with that because we was like, but now this is the quarterback. This is the quarterback who also was open about mental disorder and the struggle with that. This is a quarterback that, lost a brother, lost a mother.
Right.
At some point, you got to know that dripping on the franchise leader of your team when no other team does it is going to eventually cause some Cowboy fans to walk away.
Right.
So they're playing a dangerous game, and they've been successfully doing it for years, where they use what I call a Kardashian model, where they know how to, stay and keep drama first, which keeps them in the headline, but it's ugly. So in terms of your second question, so going back to the first question real quick, I hate it.
Okay.
So back to your second part of that question, is what do I think is going to happen? Sadly, I don't know, because Cooper came out on Instagram and he was basically telling his testimony about a bird in hand is better than two in a bush. Right. But everybody got to slow down, in my opinion, and think about that. He was in a position to get away. It was only because he decided not to go away is the reason why he's a Dallas Cowboy.
Right.
So they play and they flirt too dangerously close with losing assets. We almost saw that with Cooper, and all of us would have said Cooper was an obvious asset that you keep, especially from the fact that we would have saved if we would have went ahead and gave him a contract out the gate, $9 million. But we held out to fight. So we lost $9 million fighting to try to save $1 million in the fight. You see, because it's showing you that the ego of the Joneses is on an exponential level, and it would be foolish for any one of us to say, just speaking on common sense, oh, it's gonna get done, because we really don't know. They play that game.
Right. And so why do you think we've gotten to this point? Why is it only the Dallas Cowboys that play this game? We don't see it across the NFL anywhere else. I mean, you mentioned kind of the Kardashian syndrome. They like drama, but like, is all good media, warranted? Like, do you really want that, as you mentioned, on your franchise quarterback? I just don't see the logic in it.
Yeah,
I see it.
No, I mean, but you don't want it. As if you're a normally ran organization, you don't want it when it pertains to your franchise quarterback, because it's the optics that sends around the league to people potentially that might want to come here. It sends a bad message to your locker room, like, well, damn, if the quarterback can't get paid, how am I supposed to get paid? And we went back whenever I was on Saturday night with Boston Big Game, and me and you was on yesterday, Tuck, and I was just racking my brain, because it's always, well, Roman didn't have no problems getting paid, and we're having this problem with Dak. You know what I came down to? Jerry will pay his guy. That's when Jerry was handling them contracts back then a little bit more so than he is now. And this is just the Stephen Jones way. Yeah, sure, Jerry's going to be the mouthpiece or whatever. Jones is going to, and look, Stephen, and he still lost, right? I mean, you still gave in to Zeke. Right. I mean, yeah.
Marcus Lawrence.
Cooper might have said, Cooper said on his thing, hey, I was going to be a Cowboy anyways. He still listened to the Skins, or at the time the Skins, down the Washington football team, just to make sure he got his money in his bag secured, even though he never wanted to be here before. But it's just those simple things of, man, the clicks and whatever. And we're seeing it even now. Like, okay, as they were telling, a lot of people saying, oh, on Twitter especially, man, we're overreacting. about this stuff or whatnot. And it's like, well, if we're overreacting, then why is the social media team for the DallasCowboys.com back-to-back days talking about stuff? Like y'all came out and gave 2 different excuses yesterday. Now you're back out here tweeting again about, well, it was just an accident. Our bad, our mistake. We'll learn from this and grow. Well, how simple is it to fix a 32-second hype video? If it's a mistake, take it down, and an hour later, have it back up, and it's done. You don't want to. Why? Because you got other people sharing DallasCowboys.com, Twitter, and everything else, and it's eyes on us. And, again, it's not the fact that it's just Dak. It's the fact of a lot of people in Cowboys Nation. This is the tip of the iceberg, finally.
Right.
We're not consistently being winning. We're tired of players in the end zone getting their gifts saying easy money. It's all these different things that are happening. And now here you are. Basically, this has been a 3-year ordeal. For sure, we're into the second year on the tag situation. And a lot of people are just aspirated about the whole situation. Like, man, this is asinine. Get it? Like, we watched all these quarterbacks get paid last year. Right. You still don't have Dak done. There's about to be at least 2 more get paid this year in Lamar and Josh Allen. And it's like, what are we doing here?
Right. And I think Cowboys Nation, for me personally, I've gotten to the point where I'm tired of playing. Like, after the season that we went through last year, to come out, it's a brand new season. Here we are playing the same old games that we've been playing for the past few years. It feels like nothing has changed. And I feel like Cowboys fans, we're growing tired. So like Nick, you said last night, this could be a possibility where we see a lot of Cowboys fans say, you know what? I'm done. Because I feel like me personally, man, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I love this organization, man, since I was a kid. But it's like you see all these games and you don't see any commitment to excellence and winning and keeping up that tradition that we were accustomed to years ago. It's just not there no more. So when you see all these games playing with the franchise quarterback, if it was a center or maybe a cornerback, okay, cool, maybe I understand. But like Boss just said, you see everything that Dak has been through. Why put him through this even more? At least if you want to negotiate still, perfectly fine. But this public media, social media jabs, whatnot, and then talk to the fans like we stupid that we don't understand what's going on. Because what they had come out and said, right, is that there was no clips that was posted, prior to week 4 or week 5 when Dak got hurt. So I pulled the file like, okay, well, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm overreacting. Nope. There's that post corner route to CeeDee Lamb versus the Browns. Dak threw that. So where's that excuse? And then they wanted to say, well, maybe because Dak wasn't on the contract, that's why he wasn't included. Okay, pull the file. Last year, same scenario, he was in it. So what is it really? It's just not adding up. And like you said, Nick, if it's a simple mistake, go back and correct it, take it down, upload it, and show your franchise quarterback you really got his back, and that those fake tears that you showed when he went down wasn't fake, man. So,
like I said, man, the hashtag save the tears. You already know. I'm on it. Hashtag save the tears. Man, show the money, man.
Right. So, Boss, let me ask you this, man. When it comes from Dak's side, a lot of people are saying that Dak has his foot in the sand and he's not being flexible. What do you think is a fair market value for Dak Prescott at this point?
Well, the fair market value for Dak at this point it depends on the duration of the contract. Mm-hmm. So the higher the duration of the contract, the more money you have to pay him. So if you go with a 5, everybody now has to project into their forecast the television revenues.
Right.
So that's why when you go look at a Tonsil contract, you'll see why he spiked it so much and went with a 3-year. Right. Same thing you saw with Kirk Cousins. Mm-hmm. So Kirk Cousins actually didn't make a lot on the APY, but he got him a 3-year, which is going to benefit him even more because he's going to be right back in the market. So, So to answer your question specifically, Watson received $39 million on average, which is called APY. The total guarantee is around $110 million and change. Right. I looked at the total trend of the last 11 quarterbacks. Every young franchise quarterback in their first contract, I'll set the market in either the APY, the average per year, or total guarantee. Yep. So what it's coming down to is treating your quarterback like his peers.
Right.
What actually happened to Dak is they never made an offer that was respectable according to his peers. So to people like me and you and other fans, they'll say, I will take 35 million.
Right.
Right.
I get it. I know you
Right.
would.
Yeah.
Right.
But you also,
We
while
can't
you're
throw the
working
ball
at
like
your
him.
warehouse or you're selling insurance
Yeah.
or if you're a manager, you wouldn't take less than your other counterpart manager, though, would you?
Right.
No, you wouldn't, because
Right.
it's about how you're treated compared to your counterparts, not where you compare to with somebody potentially in Somalia. Because
Right.
you know, so it's a whole different world. So they never made him an offer like that, which when I looked at the history of the Joneses contracts, and I went all the way even beyond Romo,
Right.
what's going on with the Joneses is they finally met somebody that's going to truly fight for their worth.
Mhm.
Everybody from Cooper to all out offensive linemen, every one of them has been extremely team friendly, and it's extremely frustrating. And I'm gonna just say it like this: everybody's saying with Mike Evans today. Everybody heard the rumor that Mike Evans is willing to take a pay cut
Right.
for the team,
Mhm.
and our silly ass fans is sending out stuff like we need Dak to be like this, and we need our guys to be like this.
Right.
Everybody that signed the contract with Dallas was team friendly.
Right.
Because when you sign those longer term contracts, which is the standard in Dallas, you're
Right.
giving away your youth. What's your best asset in football? Your youth.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so that's all they needed to do, and they should have done this in 2018 as soon as he completed the
Right.
playoffs.
Right.
And that
Right then
at
and there.
that time the market was 30 APY, but Dak was already saying and signaling, I'm not looking to get paid like Matty Ice.
Right.
Just give me a respectable offer and total guarantee. When you hear him say that out of his mouth, that means, okay, give me 28
Right.
and then give me 100 in total guarantee, which would have set the market.
Right.
Be good to go.
And we would have been good to go. And likely, remember, this is the key part. The CBA was written in pencil. That's what spelled out the television contracts that's coming. So at that time, you probably could have got Dak for 6 years.
Right.
With no problems. It would have been like,
Right.
let the market, let's move forward. This is our guy.
Right.
But Steven came out April 5th. I remember the day because I wrote about it. And that's when he started to pound the ground on our guys must be team friendly. And he wasn't even just talking about Dak. He was talking about Dak, Zeke, and everybody. And what he's trying to do, in my opinion, he's trying to set a precedent and say, if you're a Dallas Cowboy, you have to yield to us, and that's how we do it. And I think it's more country club bragging rights. Because there's no logic in it, but it's where he's trying to set a precedent, which does work from a team building standpoint. But at the same time, whooping your best players is not smart for football, but it's great for you to brag on how smart you are at getting these guys to yield.
Right.
Right. But you know, and the thing about that is it would be different. Let's say that. Let's run with that, right? You go to, because every dollar has got to go somewhere, is what they like to say, right? Well, here's the problem with that. Garrett's last year, they left $20 million on the table in salary cap and didn't spend the money. So you're not taking the money that you're saving and going and helping this roster, because I'm not saying you had to go out here and sign guys to 3, 4, 5 year deals. You could have got guys who took that $20 million, some 1 year deals, some 2 year deals to come. But you think no one could have come and helped that defense or anybody that year, the last year of Garrett? And that's the problem. He wants them to sign cheap so they can build the team, but you're not active. Right. You act in free agency the right way. And then on top of that, you do draft the guy, Byron Jones, and everybody can talk about should he got paid, should he got paid. But he says we drafted, we sign our own. Guess what? You didn't sign him. Hey, you drafted Anthony Hitchens. You drafted Wilson as well, the 2 starting linebackers for Kansas City. You didn't pay them. What are we talking about this draft? We need another linebacker. You know, so it's those kind of things. If you want the players to buy into that, then you got to show your worth on the other end. And that's why I'm with you there, boss. It is for what, quote unquote, maybe bragging rights, or it's just the Cowboy way, or whatever the case is, because you're not signing the guys that you draft. And on the backside, you're not going out and helping this team the right way in free agency.
Right. Because I feel like if just from a player's perspective, right, if they come to you wanting you to make a hometown discount or whatever they want to call it, okay, so what are you going to do with the money? What's the plan?
Right.
You ain't got no plan. Like say, okay, boom, Dak, you know what? If you take a hometown discount, this is the guy that we're focusing on bringing in. This is what we're going to need. So this is why we're doing this. It ain't going to be that. It's just basically just like you said, this for bragging rights to say, you know what? We got him. We got him. We told he wasn't Cade. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where we're at with this. And I feel like right now, Dak Prescott and his team is drawing their foot in the sand. And I feel like if it's going to happen, if anyone's going to budge, it's going to have to be the Cowboys. I don't think Dak and his side is going to budge anytime soon.
And one more point too, because you talked about this a second ago, boss, about Mike Evans. And you always hear, well, look at Tom Brady taking a team-friendly deal. This guy taking a team-friendly deal. The top 5 quarterbacks have all made upwards to almost $300 million in this game. They didn't start taking team-friendly deals till they got old.
Right.
Be clear. So it's Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Big Ben, Matty Ice, and one other guy, and they've all made over $250 million or $238 million and upwards to almost $3. So you took a look in Dak, the most he's gotten in a year was off of the tag. No, he shouldn't have to settle. It's asinine to think that he should settle. And this is going to help. And on the backside, thinking that if you pay him, aka APY, $40 million a year, that you're handicapped. You're not.
Right.
It's super frustrating from this standpoint. You also asking me to take a team-friendly deal, and I watch you waste your ass off.
Right.
So, like, for instance, you could have saved if you cut Crawford. Now, you got somebody that's coming off 2 hip surgeries, but because he's your guy,
right,
you're going to just give him that money. And what did Crawford had one game where he fell into 2 sacks, and he fell into those sacks.
Well, he's a leader, boss. Come on now, he's a leader in the locker room.
We like our guys. We like our guys. Type. Yeah, I get you. But it's like it's too many of us are company men. It's a lot of our Cowboy fans were company men, where we call the players that rob their families team guys, and we don't put any pressure on the billionaires. It's the most craziest thing in the world.
It's the greatest magic trick ever that decide with billionaires over millionaires.
right, bro. And it's so crazy. Like I said, it's Stephen Jones burner accounts, man, because they'll sit down and defend this cap tooth and nail, man. But it doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't you want the leader of your franchise to get paid what he's due? I can see if he hasn't earned it, because we can talk about other players on this team who got their contract and it wasn't really earned. Dak Prescott has done everything the right way. He's earned it. He's came to work, lunch pail in hand, did his job, and now he wants to be compensated. Any working person out there right now will feel the same way that Dak feels. If you did your job and all of a sudden everyone else was showing up late, but they all getting raises and bonuses, I want my raise and bonuses too, because I've been doing my job. So, as we stand February 9th, and we kind of did it right here, where do you guys feel like this is headed? Like, do you think that
before we answer that, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Another thing that people don't really understand is that those offers were impossible. It was almost like a pause and peel was put in those offers and the stiff stuff that was leaked out to the public.
Yep.
Because you're a financial advisor, right, Tuck?
Right.
So you understand market drivers and stuff like that, like what drives a market. So what drives a market is plugging my boy on this financial advisement. Y'all make sure y'all talk to him. You know what I mean?
But if you up for no dog,
man, he'll be able to hit you out, man. Y'all try to get some Bitcoin advice. Y'all got to talk to Big Cut. He's more than just Cowboys. I just want to tell you that. But one of the things they're doing is what drives the market is agents setting records. So let's pretend behind me those are articles. I'm gonna just pretend behind me is my trophy case of records. If I'm trying to recruit Spoon and he just came in the building, the reason why Dak went to Todd France is because he negotiated a contract with Matty Ice and he set the market in the APY, total guarantee, and total contract. That's what recruited Dak. So what the Cowboys are asking, they're asking an agent to commit literal career suicide. If he walks away with a cash cow like Dak, see, because we like to say how many playoff wins, how many touchdowns. He's no Aaron Rodgers. No, when they go in there and they talk about jersey sales, market value.
There you go.
Future to the league. endorsements, branding. They talk about what's the value of Dak to Dallas.
Boss,
to
and I want you, and boss, you, and when I was on the show with you the other night, you brought up a great statistic. I want you to kind of share with Cowboys Nation over here. You researched and said the amount of revenue that Dak brings to their social media the other
this
night.
was from 4 years ago. This was $150 million. Now, bet that because the source was Colin Cowherd.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to be on top of the table. We want to be on top of the table, who the source is.
Right.
But even if he 10% right.
Right.
Because if that's true, we talking about $1 billion off of one player. And we saying that Dak alone brings in almost your whole cap by himself. So when you look at the total value of him in terms of the money that he brings and the wealth that he brings, Todd Francis got to set the market with him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Big facts.
Right. Yeah. What's up to my guy Spoon, man? Spoon, what's going on, bro?
What's going on?
What's up, Spoon?
Yeah.
And you were saying, Tuck, what do you think we going? I didn't mean to cut you off because you was leading that.
You're good. Yeah. I just want to see where do you think we're going with this? Because a lot of people saying, we're panicking, we're overreacting. I personally feel like we're gonna get a franchise tag from Dak Prescott. And then this is the last year we see him in Dallas. That's how I feel personally. What are you guys feeling right now at this point?
Spoon, you want to jump in there? You just got here.
Listen, I don't feel good about it. It's like I said last night with you guys. I'm more 30-70. Before I was more 60-40. I'm more 30-70. Listen, folks want to get on us about, and I saw the tweets about, why are we making a big deal when it comes to what Jerry's grandson did on Instagram, the hype video? The reason why we get so excited is because it's constantly lies being thrown at us since last season. So it basically is when the trust is already lost, any little thing that we see that don't make any sense, we're gonna jump at it. Now, last year, let's just say for instance, if this like last year, what was so different about this year being the hype video? That situation was the same as last year. Free agent, he didn't get tagged yet, right?
Right.
On the hype video, right? So what's the difference now? Now, last year, all we heard from Stephen Jones was what? Dak is our priority. He's a future Cowboy, X, Y, and Z. What happened? He got tagged. Once he got tagged, what happened? Why players don't want to play on the tag? He got hurt.
Right.
And thankfully, it wasn't career ending. So this whole time, Dak's speedy recovery, everything is going fine. We see reports the Cowboys management feels great about it. Okay, not for nothing though. Being that Dak had all that time off, and I'm pretty sure there was talks behind the scene during the season. I think a deal should be done about right now. No, the excuse again. Oh, we want to weigh into the total cap. What's the difference? No matter whatever number the total cap's going to be, Dak's your guy, right? Or regardless, everybody else may be sacrificed, but Dak is your guy, right? So what's the issue?
Right.
What's the problem?
Yeah,
so,
and that's
it's lies.
Well, yeah, and absolutely Spoon on that. Like this whole thing where it seems like we're waiting to see where the cap falls, and it sounds good, right? It's also we're being ran properly and fiscally responsible. It doesn't matter when it comes to the quarterback, and we all know that it is lies because when you have a franchise quarterback, you hand the blank check and you walk away. Especially guys the top 10. As we were going through this whole melodrama last year, right up to the point where he got tagged, and right up to the point where once he got tagged, and I said this is a slippery slope. I said it last year. I said, he's tagged. I said, they don't get the deal done in July. I was like, it opens the door then for him to be out of here. And I was like, oh, you're tripping, Knicks. It's whatever. Then we got to July, and then he played on the tag. And I told everybody then, I reiterated it. I said, hey, this sets it up for him not to be here because now the cap number alone, from the tag standpoint, it's going to be around $38 million. Well, you've moved from 35 to 38, so now you got to give you more money. Now we can sit here and talk about what is a difference between $3 and $5 million. It's not going to bring a player in here that's going to put us over the top, but that's not how the Cowboys front office has situated this thing with Cowboys Nation, and they think, oh my God, 3 to 5 more extra million is going to kill us. And we might not be able to field a 53-man team. It's amazing. The only jersey I'll ever buy going forward is going to have a number 1 on it and cap space on the back of it is where I'm at right now, because that's what everybody cares about. Right. So to me, I think the door's open. I think the table is set. Honestly, I was to the point where, beforehand, just a couple of weeks ago, I said, boss, we talk about we're always changing in this as things develop. I was like, I think they're really going to get this deal done before March 9th, before free agency, so they can be active. Now, I just don't know. Honestly, I'm not even going to try to guess. I think the table's set for him to get out of here. I think the table's set for him to get out of here, because if I'm Dak, all right, give me my 38 million or 40, whatever it's going to end up being. And you know what? I'll see you when I see you.
Right.
He's not going to kiss the ring. He's not in love with the star.
He's not blinded by the tears.
I think a lot of people that a lot too. What you said on that, BJ.
A lot of people take that into consideration that Dak grew up a Cowboys fan. Okay, that's cool. He grew up a Cowboys fan. A lot of people did. But when it comes to my money, that's completely out the window, man. A lot of people.
Right. He's not having the beers and nachos.
I would go right over to Washington and be like, I used to love you. But, I think it's a couple of days to keep on our calendar. March 9th, BJ said it, the first date, because it's the type of tag that's going to tell you the intentions. So there's 3 types of tags. There's the exclusive tag, the non-exclusive tag, and the transition tag.
Right.
The top 2 is going to apply to Dak. So no even reason talking about the transition. Right. So if they put an exclusive tag on Dak, we just got to define it. Exclusive tag is where he cannot go out into the open market.
Right.
And the Cowboys will own his rights. Okay. But that's going to cost them 37.7. If they use a non-exclusive tag on them, then that can go into the open market, but the Joneses get last rights of refusal where they can match that offer. Some people would do that to say, okay, we really uncertain of what we think about you. Let's let the market decide, and we'll decide if we want to match that. If we don't match that, then that team got to surrender to us 2 first.
Right.
So if they put on him the transition tag, the exclusive tag, then that moves the next day to watch for July 15th.
Right.
But all leverage goes exponentially, in my opinion, back to Dak if they use the exclusive tag, because then Dak then takes them by the balls and say, y'all tag me, but I'm not signing it. Right. If he signs it, then they can make him a tradable asset. He's not going to do that. He's going to let them drop their options. So that's going to go through free agency. Yep. Then that's going to go through the draft. That's going to lead in with the C team quarterbacks like Andy Dalton from last year.
Right.
We already saw how that worked out.
Right.
So that's where it now comes to July 15th. July 15th would tell us if it's about ego or if it's about common sense. He'll be healed by then. He would have been able to work out with his guys and all of that. It's one thing that I also think is going on, because I've been looking at something else that kind of opened my mind up to a whole new realm. I've been looking deep into them television contracts. Okay. Yeah. And one thing from my research that I found, and I'm going to just keep it real general. The Cowboys are making a boatload in publicity right now. Jay Tuck talking about it individually on his show.
Yeah.
Stargame talking about it individually on his show. Boss Cowboy Sports talking about it. West Coast, Vach, Mike Fish, James Slater, every analyst, every quarterback that's signed, they get compared to Dak. The advertising and the branding and the Cowboy name. So they over here on this side making a boatload.
Right.
But they giving up cap space on this side to do it, because we also know about the leverage of Baker Mayfield, Lamar, and Allen, which puts also cap pressure on them. I'm very long-winded, but I'm getting to a major point. I'm going to tell you right now, because I looked at the history of what happened in basketball when they had the television spike, and I looked at what's getting ready to happen in football. Most people don't know that football accounts for about 70% of the sports live entertainment. And what's happening because of streaming, your traditional shows, they can't get the ads because everybody going against that to go stream it live without the commercials. So if you want to spend ad money, you want to go to where you go get your return on your investment. That's in football. They getting ready to spike their ass. And this is why it's super important. I said that. They're estimating, which I think is an underestimate, that the cap is go double. So we saying by 2023, 2024, we talking about a new cap of maybe 400 million. So what that would do is that would take Dak at a percentage of the cap of 19% and now make it automatically what? 8% to 6%. Would you be mad? Would you be mad? So that means don't matter what, everybody that sounds nice finna be a discount. So let's sell a drama. Let's sell a drama, because either way, when we pay them, we good anyway.
Yeah,
and it's like, I don't know what they doing though. So it's like, that's my hope. That's optimism. But you can't think like that because they fired Jimmy Johnson.
Right, and the thing about it is, and that's why Dak has always wanted the shorter deal contract, because he wanted to double dip once that explosion happened. That's the biggest thing that I've talked about too. Me and Spoon and Mary L over there on the Stargate pages. It's going to double. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why they want to. Why it's the problem of paying him, because it's not going to matter with the explosion.
It ain't gonna matter.
It comes down to though. Steven likes to get those long-winded deals so they can move money around, right? Because they can already move 14 million from Amari. And Dak's just not going to play ball with them on it. Last year was a 4-year deal. You ever watch Draft Day? And Kevin McCutcheon was like, hey, that deal's, it was like 2 seconds. Oh, hey, we're living at a different time now. That deal's done. That's what Dak's saying to him now. It's 3 years now. You want to be last year? It was 4. Because him and that agent are looking at the number 2. You want me now? Now it's a 3-year deal. Now Steven's going to be like, oh, my God. Because he has to, we talked about age earlier. Dak has to be able to cash in again at 30.
Right.
He can't sign a deal to 32, 33 and then try to cash in. We know how this league works, guys. We understand how it is. So Dak has to cash in a big contract that's going to end at 30, 31, and then so he can cash in again. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how the game's played. And therein lies some of the drama as well. And it's going to come down to, and we talk about ego, is Steven going to bend his ego to get this done, or is he going to let him walk? And that's what we're going to sit on this train and buckle up and ride, and we're going to find out.
Yeah, so Boss, you gave me some optimism about July 15th. July 15th, mate. Because I was thinking more about March 9th. Yeah,
it's both of them.
It's
which
March
tag
9th.
they use. So if they use the exclusive tag, go ahead and kick your feet up. You good.
Right.
You cook at least for this year. Right.
But
then after that, you got July 15th become the next key date. Because then that's going to tell you. And the Joneses tell you, man, they say it straight up to your face. Like, I always say this, man, forgive me for everybody listening might not understand my culture, but we say it like this sometimes. You know what? You're a real special player if I can tell a lady in my face I'm getting ready to do you a certain kind of way and I still do it. You know what I mean? You got some real game. If you see, the Joneses tell us to their face, deadlines make deals.
Right.
So in other words, don't expect nothing soon, homeboy. Look at those dates. And
here
then
we go.
we go run this to the very last damn second on every deadline. Because and sadly, and I'm just coming to this year, man. BJ might hate me for this. I rocked with you a couple of times. I know.
Okay.
But I really do feel that the Joneses don't care as much about winning as much as they used to, because they already got 3 Super Bowls in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So now it's almost like winning is important, but it's in the bag. I got other stuff in that bag too. Like I got making money. It's not the number one priority.
Right.
So that's what frustrates us, because it's Spoon number one, it's BJ number one, it's all about number one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to them, it's like,
I'll pivot on that, boss. I'll tell you what, I will pivot on that some. Here's where I'm gonna pivot. And the thing I always said was, it's not that they don't want to win; they want to win their way.
Right.
And I say that, hey, that is absolutely up to be dissected and whatever, because I don't agree with the way that they go about things. However, this is like the tipping point for me. Like if you look, I can only take I'm a half glass kind of full guy, but at the end of the day, whenever you got a top 10 quarterback, I don't care where you want to rank him, he's a top 10 quarterback. Wherever you want to rank him, he's top 10. And you can't get this done with your franchise quarterback, and you want to play games with the quarterback, well, then you're not serious. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Like, you can play with all the other positions. I've said this before. You don't mess with the quarterback. And at the end of the day, if you're going to mess around with the quarterback, man, then that's going to make me change my position on that, because it's not about winning, because there's nothing you can pinpoint on this guy that he's done in the league to say, well, maybe we shouldn't pay him. I don't know. If Kirk Cousins go get multiple bags, man, miss me. with
Right.
anything. If Jimmy Garoppolo can get a bag after 5-6 games and be the
Miss
top
me.
paid guy,
Right.
miss me. And you're handling Dak this way right here. Hey, man, it's definitely a big game. It will have a huge smile on its face hearing me say this. I'm sure it's going to change my narrative on that.
And that's
Right.
okay, because I think everybody got a different threshold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I never, like, it's some people sincerely needed more than 2018.
Right.
Like, it's like me, I was cool with Dak after the first 4 games.
Right. I know.
A lot of people would have called me very foolish for that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people needed to pass Pittsburgh. Once they saw Pittsburgh, they was on board. Some people needed to see him with Cooper. Once they saw him with Cooper, they was on board. Some people needed to see that 2019 where he closed it out with close to 5,000 yards. When he started hot as hell this year,
Right.
the only people left that hate Dak are the Romo Coat members, the remedial fans, the extreme prideful, and the racists. That's the only people that's left that hate Dak. Because anybody that was waiting on evidence, you got it now.
Yeah, and and those that are trying to use the way back in his second year, whenever Tyron and Zeke were out, as this is why you can't, bro. That's so long ago. What are we talking about?
Right, his second season. Because if anyone should have been skeptical about them getting paid, like this guy right here, back there. Okay, when it was coming to time about paying Zeke, I was kind of on the fence because there was some things that was lingering about Zeke. But when it comes to Dak Prescott, he's done everything the right way. There's nothing I can really sit back and say, you know what, Dak doesn't deserve it. He does, and I think that's why a lot of Cowboys fans are frustrated, man. So,
and the scary part is he's still growing.
Yeah,
he hasn't even reached that level yet. It's like
you were starting to see it this year. Like
it was like Bruce Leroy. Remember, you ever seen The Last Dragon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's when he finally got the glow at the end. That's remind me of Dak is not. He's 2019, almost 5,000 yards. Listen, that was impressive. And then this year, before the injury, he was balling.
Right.
So it's like everything's right there to tell you you're not gonna do wrong by paying this man. We haven't seen the best of Dak yet, especially what we're gonna surround him by.
Right.
But I'm sorry, the way they doing this game right here, it's not you don't do franchise quarterbacks like this.
Right.
It's embarrassing.
It's really
like BJ posted something in his group, man. Cheap plug to his group. I'm gonna do that real smooth. Star Game, one of my favorite groups. I promise you, that's on my bottom of my heart. I love how they run it. And I'm gonna give them a real plug on that real quick. Just because I love how y'all run that group, because y'all don't deal with the people that hate Dak out of just hate. Like I see y'all
to the table.
Yeah, you got to bring something to the table. Y'all kick them out, and I love it because that keeps a real dialogue in the group, right? Honest dialogue. I don't mind you having critiques of Dak, but just like you say, bring something to the table.
You gotta bring something to
but
the
when
table.
you posted, bro, I was burned up for about 3 hours, bro. I literally reached out to Big Game James today just to vent, bro. Just mad as hell when I saw people laughing at us, bro. Like that hurt, bro. Like I was over here like we looking like the Texans, man.
Right.
Like we are really right next to being like, and I usually don't curse a lot, but I went right in that group. I went all the way off on this. We look like some
Right.
Like and it hurt. Like it's like, Jerry, I get the Kardashian model. You make a boatload of it, but now you starting to risk a January 6, 2021 type of thing with Cowboy fans. We will riot on you, man.
Right. That's right. Hey, that's what I said on Twitter, man. Hey, if we don't sign Dak, y'all gonna see me my feet up on Jerry's desk with a Super Bowl trophy.
Hey, man, let's get to that point, bro. Like it hurts.
It does, man. Especially going after the season that we went to. We all felt that pain for Dak, and then here we are, right back here and playing the same games. Like, I can't do it, man.
I can't do it, man.
I can't.
And I posted in that thread. I said we are a very poorly ran organization at times. A guy going to hit me with how. I was like, I said, well, you can start with the Dak situation for the past 3 years. That's one. I said, two, go to how we handle free agency. I mean, I can give you more if you need them.
We go all day.
Yeah. I'm like, but I mean, I don't think I need to go any further than that. You know, and as it pertains to Stargate, look, and I get it. And look, if people hit me, it's like, oh, well, if you have anything negative to say about Dak, you're gonna get out here. No, don't come in with BS. Like, hey, if you want to critique and give me an answer. Don't tell me Dak sucks. Don't pay him. Okay, so what's the move? So what are we doing? What are we going to do? How are we replacing him? How do we get the production? You know, don't just come in there with nothing, man. You know, hey, yeah, that's what I said. Hey, moving the chains, dead ass. I said that today. I said, man, we gonna go to Frisco and run up in the Star.
Man, we will impeach. Listen, I'm not trying to get into politics. So don't listen.
I'm at the point, man.
Yeah, like because I don't want people to think that we trying to pick a side here, and that's not what we're doing.
It's not about.
But we're just using it as an analogy. Go, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's not about just Dak, man. It's about doing what's right, man. Because you gotta understand, y'all, we invest a lot of time, money, you know, effort, like all in this into this organization to sit back and get nothing, and then from them is to be so disrespectful to treat the franchise quarterback, knowing y'all gonna still come and attend anyway. You know, y'all gonna be there.
I don't know. Like I said, man, I think they blow this with Dak, man. This will be a tipping point. Like I said, whenever Jerry came in and he fired Landry, that a lot of Saints fans were created that day. I know some personally. Right. And whenever look, and it's not that they're choosing, it's not that they're choosing a different team because of Dak. Dak is just the final tipping point. You got people that are 30, 35 years old that haven't seen us be successful. Keep it a buck. They don't remember us playing in the Super Bowl. And if they blow this with Dak, that could be the tipping point of a lot of people saying, you know what, man, Kansas City looks good. Hey, you know what? I like the Saints. I think they can rebuild and do something, you know, and it's a different day and time now. You don't have to just, this is the team on my market. It ain't like that no more. You can watch whatever team you want. It's all over the place. It's anywhere you want to get it in on any device, phone, laptop, MacBook. You can watch your games anywhere, get what kind of you want from any team. So I do think if they fumble this with Dak, that this could be the tipping point that a lot of people say, you know what, Cowboys, Joneses, it's been cool. It ain't it. Look. There was a guy this offseason that got raked over the coals because he was like, you know what, I'm being a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm out. Peace on Twitter. He's like, I'm out. You're going to see a mass exodus of those kind of posts if they mess this up with Dak. I promise you.
Right. And y'all know I love me some Vegas. So, yeah. So, you know, I brought Boss on, man. We're going to get to this draft talk, man. But let me ask y'all this. Should we even be looking at quarterback when it comes to okay. All right. So let's get to it, Boss. So, man.
Well, I said that because that's what I think.
I mean, the hand is forced, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying this is the replacement for Dak. I would just more so say I like the class. I think this is a rich class. I think it's some guys. I think it's a couple of Daks in this class.
Okay.
Like I really do. I think it's some fourth rounders that's gonna be franchise guys in this class. I just want to take one of those guys and put them behind Dak and increase our chances of winning. Now, if there's any class to be in a quarterback controversy, is this one. Like I really like this class. Like, and I'm not acting like I'm the draft expert. I really feel like I'm good at it. I think I'm very good at it. But this class is special, man. This is a very special class. So yeah, we should be looking at it. Even if we mess this up with Dak, we still should be looking at it because it's a couple of guys that I'm super high on. Like I unapologetically got Wilson as my number one quarterback without blinking. Like man, I would take sunshine and piss on him. I mean, just like it's because like the same because he is. If you look at him and you compare him to Mahomes, they are so similar. Coming out of schools with no height, but you keep seeing this ridiculous arm talent. But it's not just flashy like Love, because you saw the arm talent with Love, but it was in spots, right? You would see it maybe twice a game, right? Yeah, I'm serious, Steve, dead serious. Because see, and I also said that about Mahomes before he was drafted. So this is not just hindsight, this foresight.
Resume.
Right? Yeah, I got a resume. Like a lot of people jumped on Mahomes late. Now I was early and I got the records to prove it.
Hey, boss, I didn't cut you, but if he was picking Mahomes when he got drafted and people was against you, they need to give you an apology because there was even scouts that had Mahomes ranking the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And the draft day, that surprise trade offer was getting nuts in that 1st round. So make sure you
the
get
analyst was dropping him, bro. Like,
yeah.
and I got the records, bro. You know I screenshot stuff. I got the receipts.
Right.
I'm telling you, I
Right,
literally
receipt.
wrote this about Mahomes before he came out. But see, you just have to judge the talent. Don't say stuff like I don't like Texas Tech because they run this type of scheme. Just look at the talent. Look at the angles. Look at the way he throwing the ball off his back foot. He's doing stuff that's like that they say you can't do, and he's doing it. So if you put a Wilson in the right environment, because he can fail. If he go to the wrong team, he'll fall like a rock.
Let's be clear. That's any, but
that's anybody. But if you put him on the Cowboys, I'll be like, and listen, everybody know I like Dak. Wilson would be the only person that I'd be like, let's go. Like I really would. I'd be like, because the power of having a quarterback that can throw off platform, that can throw going backwards, that's exponentially, because the guys that have to step into every throw and fundamentally, that's that split second that when they pressuring you, that play is dead. But that guy that can be backing up, going to the side or doing anything and release and it be on target,
right,
bro, that's a game changer. So yes, I'm dead serious. And see, everybody so hype on Sunshine. Do y'all remember Sam Darnold? See, listen, I always say this, bro. I always say this, bro. Why do we copy off people that make D's? Like, because the average analyst, I show you DJ's board. DJ board literally has Sam Darnold number 1. They didn't even have Dak Prescott on there after 2018. That's crazy. And you copying off them. Oh, nobody has Wilson as the number 1 quarterback. Stop copying off him. And this is the reason why I say stop copying off him. Because the average first rounder or 60% or more bust. That's a D average. Right. So just say what you think and don't apologize about it and don't get bullied. A lot of times, if you think like that, you're gonna be right. Most of the people that have been following the crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and a lot of the times what it boils down to, when you get these young quarterbacks that are going high and why they end up busting, it's because they're going to bad organizations, maybe ran poorly, doing the right things around them, and some of these late guys get a chance to go to the right situation. In case in point, I was a big Russell Wilson guy, and I got a few lifelong fans that are friends of mine that are lifelong Dolphins fans. I was like, man, y'all can just chill and get Russell in the second round and be kosher.
Right.
But, say la vie, things happen. Now I will say, now I got my misses too, because I did not see Justin Herbert being as good as he is. I just didn't see it, especially that last year and different things, the way he just, I don't know. All of a sudden his accuracy disappeared. But man, what a great play by him. The only thing about Trevor Lawrence is this, man. He's done it on every level, right? I mean, he college or high school, and then when he was competing in these different camps against all these other quarterbacks and everything, did we see him step into Clemson to see what he did? And I was never high on Sam Darnold. I just don't look. There's certain things USC quarterbacks, I don't buy into them. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of them. And I look at Deshaun Watson that went through this program and what he was able to do in the league so far. And I look at Trevor Lawrence being in that same thing and what he did in high school as well. So I do like Trevor Lawrence. Now I'm big on Wilson as well, though too. I'm big on Wilson. The thing that we'll probably start hearing, because Bucky Brooks, because he's on the mothership and doing some draft talk and everything, came out and said, well, Fields is just a better version of Dak. And when I heard him say that, I was like, come on, man, don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that, because that's going to stir the dadgum pot, man. He's like, his arms a little bit better, he's a little bit faster. He is solid, but that's not the way to compare him, though, to me, in my opinion.
And they just knock Dak, man. It's like Dak is a whipping boy, just like all our best are. But I just think people need to look close at Sunshine, because he's showing the same warning signals as Sam Darnold if you look closer.
And he had as Bronson, he had the shoulder surgery.
He had the shoulder surgery, and then he had a major sophomore slump. See, people just go get at a pass, just like they did with Sam Darnold. They gave him a smooth pass because he jumped out and he was killing that Rose Bowl. I'm talking those are NFL throws. Nobody can deny it. It was like, I was buying it too. I was drinking all the cool. Man, he got in there, man. The next year, man, start throwing interceptions. Then you start hearing this type of bullshit ass analysis. Oh, he believes in his arm too much.
Right.
Now, those are just bad decisions. Let's just stop taking all these passes to him. Those are just bad decisions. And see, and then you look at Sunshine Junior year. man, he was straight up in my boy from Cincinnati shadow. Let's be all the way honest, bro. It wasn't even close, right? And I look at his style of play. Look really close at how he plays. He go get hurt if he go in the league like that, because he too fearless. He don't slide. He be taking hits. It's like, bro, take that in the league. They go kill you. Like, I'm seeing some decision, but now he does throw on the rope though. Like when he throw, it's no velocity. It's just straight bullet. Like, so his ball get there quick, pretty accurate, but my eyes are not seeing. You hearing the hype, but I'm not seeing it. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and we and I came out months ago saying I don't see the Trevor Lawrence hype, and everyone, because I'm an ACC guy,
they gonna crucify you,
and I just don't see it. But like you said, boss, stand on your truth, man.
I stay on it. You gonna be right.
It is what it is. Spoon, don't dig that wig out the trash.
Well, I guess I'm gonna leave that wig right in the trash where it's at. The way he didn't see my Trevor Lawrence wig.
You love it.
Yeah.
Now I do think he's a franchise. See, that's the difference. Like, so franchise to me is where they can build around you. I think he's that. I think he's that guy, and I do think Fields is that guy. I just think the guy that gives you more arm talent. Like, if anybody could go into an Andy Reid, now I don't mean say Andy Reid. If you could put Wilson with a great OC and great weapons, you go get you a type of Mahomes. Mark my words.
And Jensen has a point. That 6'6" curse is real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think it's quite 6'6" though, right?
Yeah, he's about 6'6".
He's 6'5". Come on, man. He slouches a little bit.
And see what I hate, man. And see, I hate this, man. Every year these guys get hyped, and when they fall off a cliff, nobody hold those people that grade them accountable.
Yeah.
Like, nobody go back and say, DJ, man, I saw your list. Damn, that was bad.
Right.
So they just move on, and they're this year's experts again.
Right.
No, bro, we just saw you rank Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. We saw that rank.
Yeah.
Right.
You had him fifth.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Right.
I said it because I had Lamar second.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I always say every year, because I know BJ do this, rank your list. Like, put your top 7 out of every position. And what I do, and I'm pretty sure you do, BJ, because I know he's been doing this for 10 years. Because I go back and say, where did I get it right? Where did I get it wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go back and watch the tape again to see what I missed.
Yeah, what did I miss?
Yeah.
Was it hype? Or did people get in my ear?
Yeah.
Or was it, or what really happened? And that makes me better every year if I do that process. Right. So like at this time, because I'm writing the Boss Cowboy Guide again, which is an off-season guide for the Dallas Cowboys, where I try to pick, from free agency as well as the draft candidates that I feel like going to be ideal candidates for us. But during this period, I go extremely dark. Like, I love everybody channel, but I don't even listen to them because I don't even want nobody influencing me right now.
Right.
And because me and BJ still talking about a couple of linebackers, he laughed at me.
Yeah.
But it's my eyes though, so I put it out there. It's like, but it's what I see. It's not what anybody's saying to me.
Right.
Oh, no wonder, because I remember at the draft when I was with BJ in Dallas, I saw a list of the big boards came out like a long paper towel. And I'm like, I'm sitting next to BJ. We on the field. I'm like, looking at him like, he's like, no, this is my board right here, man. He had the Blake Jarwin, and we was going back and forth, and I'm like, I said, you carry your board with you? Oh yeah, I gotta talk to these guys, man. I'm like,
Right, but be prepared, man. Do your own research. That's why I've been trying to tell people, man.
And that's the hardest thing about being on Twitter, man. Boss, you talk about going dark, man. There's times where I block I'll block certain words off of Twitter, so I'm still active. I'll block draft off of Twitter for a couple of weeks. I want to keep that with people because I don't want to.
When I finish studying, then I come back out. So, okay, what y'all say?
How you guys feel about Trey Lance? That's my draft. That's my draft guy for quarterback. I know we're not going to get Lawrence, but Trey Lance is my guy. I love him out of North Dakota State. Same school as Carson Wentz. 3,000 yards passing. He ran for 1,100, 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He didn't play. He played like one game this last past season, but he reminds me of a bigger version of Russell Wilson. has Dak like him, man. But very intelligent, very coachable. In the month of December, he was more talked about as far as being better than Fields. All of a sudden, Zach Wilson made that big leap.
Right.
That big leap, and Trey and Lance now is kind of falling off. Like right now,
and
like Kyle Trubisky from Florida, he's moving up a little bit.
Man, he should.
But it's funny what Boss said, because same thing happened with Mahomes. Sometimes the quarterback that's not being, or the player that's not being talked about the most, is pretty much what everybody's targeting on the low.
Yeah, right. And and the thing about that, with these TV analysts per se, and look, and I'm talking about your big guys, they're late to the game. That's why you see these guys like Wilson flop the board all of a sudden, everything, because they start so late, and then these guys start going up the board like the Joker at linebacker. I talked about him. And then all of a sudden, there was a bunch of stuff happening after that. I just happened to be, I did linebackers before them, is what it boiled down to. That's just what it boiled down to. And once they saw it, I'm like, okay, my eyes are kind of in the same realm of what they're looking at and what they're seeing, and they're kind of late to the board with some of that stuff coming up there. And that's why there's always these quarterbacks that get pushed up the board, sometimes worthy, sometimes not worthy. It's smoke screen season, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
And I don't care who's doing the analysis or who you like. Some of these guys are going to push some guys because, hey,
it's marketing.
Yeah, hey, this is who you need to be looking at. Let me get the eyes on me. Let me get the clicks real quick. Right. And back to what Boss just said, we'll go to next year. Whatever they said is gone. Whew. It's whatever. It's in the ether. And then they come, and then oh, well, here's the next one. It's kind of that wash, rinse, and repeat kind of cycle.
So let me ask you all this: when it comes from a Cowboys perspective, right? What do you think is going to be their main needs? I mean, I know we've had conversations, Spoon, Knicks, about BPA, and Boss, I've seen you pretty much in the same train, BPA. But what do you think from a Cowboys perspective? What's going to be their number one target when it comes to addressing this draft? Do you think it's going to be corner, linebacker, quarterback? Like, where do you think their head is right now?
I mean, it's a guess at this point until, Dak getting tagged, whatever they're able to do getting free agency. It's a guess. We would love for a defensive tackle to be there, because I think front seven is, look at Dan Quinn, his history. I think front seven is what he's going to be more on tilt with. So that's why, to me, somewhat I've pivoted. Look, I'm Pitts gang all day.
Right.
No, I'm Pitts gang all day. But if it's going to be a defensive player, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I don't think it's going to be a cornerback. I think if anything, it's going to be the front seven, and I think it'll be a linebacker before it's cornerback right now. That's kind of on February 9th, I feel like it's going to be linebacker more so than cornerback right now. That's just my feeling, and looking at Dan Quinn and what he comes from and what he needs without free agency being in the building. I know cornerback saucy. I know they're going to talk about that a bunch, but whether it's a Parsons, JOK is going to come up this board. I'm telling you, I've been preaching it. I still believe in it. To me, I think if I'm thinking like the Cowboys, is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that if it's going to be defense, I think it's going to be linebacker. It'll give a more impact than cornerback immediately, is what I think. I don't think they'll go out and reach for a defensive tackle like a Barrymore. We're just going to go Barrymore here. We're going. I don't think at 10. No way. I think linebacker's the big play at 10 right now.
I hope it's Xavier Collins. Please.
No, he's an edge. I think he's going to be an edge for a lot of people. I think it's going to be an edge for a lot of people, and he can't get his big ass can't get off blocks. I'm sorry.
Look, I like JOK. But my issue is weight.
Man.
Yeah,
he's
220. He's 220. I get 10, 15 on him. I get 10, 15 on him. I'll get 10, 15 on him.
Get that Texas heat, man. Might get him down to 210, man.
You just want to give him the keys, man. I don't want to have to put gas in the car. I don't want to do nothing.
I told y'all before. I think he is the future of the linebacker position in the NFL. I'd rather be early to the party than trying to figure it out late. I'd rather be ahead of the curve than behind the curve. And again, y'all saw what David and White did.
I was going to say, do you think seeing what happened in the Super Bowl is going to increase the value for a lot of people who are going to like?
Bam.
Bam. A lot of people sit back and say, "Oh, I want that." Who's
that linebacker over there in Atlanta that Quinn had?
Yeah, that was Jones.
Jones.
A couple of things, just real quick to answer Spoon question on Trey Lance. Trey Lance is great tape, man. Like great tape. Obviously when you're looking at the level of competition, that's always a concern.
Yeah.
But what I like though is he plays very free. Like, and I'm gonna tell you where I missed. I'm see, because I always talk about what I got right. We like to brag. Let me tell you where I missed. Let me tell you where I missed.
I'm with you. I missed on Justin. I'm with you.
Yeah, and I missed on Jones for the Giants. Like when I saw that pick at 6, I said that was the dumbest pick of all time. But Jones actually playing some damn good ball now. Like,
well, he
got to watch the turnovers. Yeah, he got to watch the turnovers.
Right.
But I like how he play. Like he play like backyard now. Like, but that's also an organization that shows faith in you. Now that's another story. But when I see Trey, I see Jones. You know what I mean? What scares me about Trey is too fearless. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think he needs to dial it back some, because the most valuable asset to a quarterback is your health. So that's my answer on that. But now, and to answer Tuck on what do we think going to happen at 10, I think it's going to be about what happens in free agency. And I was right on Darius Leonard. Now I stood by myself on Darius Leonard. I took a lot of whoopings on that. I put him as my number 1 quarterback and got ran out of the war room for that. Yeah. A group like, really? You go put him number 1 when everybody? I said, yeah, I got him number 1. But that would, but I think what's gonna happen at 10 is gonna depend on what happened with, because the Cowboys are great at doing this the last 4 years. They try to fill all holes in free agency with quality band-aids. That way they go into the draft with true BPA. The only time they really went BPA though was last year. They was positioned for it the last 4 years. But they finally did it last year.
It was so exciting.
I honestly don't, and they honestly did BPA up to round 7. I said round 7 is where they got off of it, and they went with good old boy stuff. Oh, I like this kid BS. You know what I'm saying? Benucci.
My brother played basketball with my brother.
Yeah, my brother coach. But he's gonna work out. Right, man. Politics got in on that one, but because we passed up on Moss and Sullivan, that never made sense to me. But anyway, but I don't see Tuck, how we had the epic success in the draft and then go away from the strategy. I just don't like you can't. We had literally 5 starters from this draft, man. 5 instant ones, counting Steele. That's cheating, but I'm counting them anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm counting them anyway. How did you get away from that strategy?
Right.
And then especially when you compare when we reached for need and what it gave us on return, right? We reached for Taco. We reached for Mo. We reached for pick 58, Tristan Hill. Passed on DK. Passed on
Juan Thornhill.
We passed on some sick talent out of need. So I would say definitely as podcasters, let's just continue to push and preach the gospel of BPA.
Hello, Pitts.
And saying, because see, at 10, I'm team Pitts, but I'm also team Waddle.
Yep.
I'm team D Smith.
Okay.
I'm also Parsons.
Parsons. Okay.
Now, and Parsons, I'll be all the way honest. I got Parsons ranked like right here on talent under some of them offensive players, but he's so close that I still take him over them.
Pull the trigger.
I will pull the trigger. That's where I will go need.
Like I will tell you this, and I agree. I think if it's tackle or Parsons, I want Parsons.
I mean,
tackles deep in this draft.
Outside of Parsons, I'm going Pitts.
Yeah.
I'm going and I think who I think is gonna fall. I really think my boy Chase is go fall.
Oh, God bless.
I'm serious. I think and we better take him too.
I got Chase back there on the background.
Man, I love you for it too, man. Hey, I ain't gay, but I kiss you on your forehead in a man way. You know what I'm saying? Love that back there. Yeah, show him, bro.
Okay, so I got
I'm trying to see my boy.
Yeah,
but I think what's gonna happen with him, and it's just my eyes. It could be wrong. But when I watch him, I see 4.3 game speed, but I also feel like he go clock a 4.5. If he run on pro day. If he run on his pro day, if he run a 4.5, I think that's going to drop him right to us, and we better take him.
Yeah, listen, with that number 10 overall pick, it's like last year. I know a lot of folks was when we were talking about Kyle Pitts and why we don't need a tight end. Well, you don't need a tight end, but you want to upgrade. And for me, Kyle Pitts is a big time upgrade over Blake Jarwin and Schultz. Especially with Blake Jarwin coming off an ACL. Sometimes it takes about the second year off the injury for him to come back full speed. But we haven't even seen him as a starter because Jason Witten. So, I said, well, look at last season. Last year in the draft, we didn't need CeeDee Lamb, but he was there. He was a top 10, top 5, top 10 pick. We took him, BPA. And what that does is it kind of makes you flexible in the business side where, okay, let's just say Chase is there. Now, boss getting excited with that.
Hold on,
because Tuck came out and said a couple of times if Chase falls. Now, Cowboy Nation should be pissed off. Why? Because now, Gallup's a free agent next year.
Right.
And now we can be able to deal with that. Here's another beautiful thing to think about it. You don't got to pay Chase nor CeeDee Lamb for another 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And you can always use Amari Cooper's contract to help you get money, do what you got to do, restructure the contract to get more cap space. So
team cap space.
Yeah.
There you go.
Team cap space.
Number one,
so
in your hearts.
Yeah.
Listen, Jefferson from LSU, I was so excited that Philadelphia didn't take him.
Me too.
I was telling you boys, and I remember he called Star Game, and he reminds me of a Kevin Hart. He's like Kevin Hart. He always brag on him, whatever. Same attitude, same joke when he cusses. But he came out and was like, why the hell we took Riga? I said, well, that's Howie. Howie likes to redraft his own play. He looked at Riga like Deshaun Jackson.
Right.
I mean, Jefferson's a big boy. And the thing is with Jefferson is that, his route run has always been crisp. But, like BJ has said before, sometimes we don't see the full talent in college. But when you get to the NFL pro level, you see a different guy. Jefferson, the way he played right now, he could have been taken ahead of my man from the Raiders, the way he was playing this season. So, listen, Chase is there. Cowboy Nation, don't get mad.
Don't get mad.
Don't get mad.
Grab that question. Let's
you
grab
gonna
that
be
question.
mad regardless.
What was that?
Grab that question from Joel at 10. Waddle or Pitts? Grab that question.
Ooh, I'm ready for that. Ooh,
Let's do that. Let's do that.
You finna start a fight
Let's
over
do
here.
that.
Ooh,
Let's
let's
do
go.
that.
Let's go.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Ooh,
That's
man.
saucy.
I
like it. That's saucy. That's saucy because Waddle does give you a dimension at wide receiver that we don't have. Okay, He does absolutely unequivocally. Now, and I'm going to go ahead and here's where I'm going to stick my flag on this hill. I'm going to die on this hill, gentlemen. All right, I'm going to die on this hill. It's Pitts over Chase. It's Pitts over all wide receivers for me because middle of the field matters, red zone matters. We need help there. It's just factual, and he gives us more. Now, I'm not going to cry over spilt milk if it was Waddle. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk if it was Chase, because not only does it make sense with a Gallup out of the door, and we talk about the cap and different things that we can do. I'm not mad at that. But if you're telling me I got to pick between Waddle and Pitts, I'm going Pitts.
This.
I'm going Pitts because I think Pitts, for this team, how we're constructed, gives us more help in the middle, and it helps this damn red zone. That's where I'm at. I'll let y'all gentlemen. I'll hang up and listen.
I'll say this real quick. Pitts, and if you go to I know every draft site they have their different opinions. Some have Pitts ranked number 5, some number 6. Some even number 2 behind Trevor Lawrence, regardless of position. I'm rolling with Pitts all day. Hey, listen, I was at the '98 draft and I cried when we took Greg Ellis and not Randy Moss. I literally cried.
My boy cried.
Yeah, I cried. I went in the corner. I went to the bathroom.
And then you cried on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. I didn't
was fool, man. Fool, you a G, man.
Oh, listen, I was crying, and I was like, so we got CeeDee Lamb. I felt great. I was like, this is different. This is different. Now, this year, listen, at number 10, I don't want to listen. We know we need defensive tackle. We need safety. They're all back there. Get the best player that comes along, because regardless, it's going to help make the organization make a good decision on what we do with Gallup. Because let's keep it real. They're going to pay Gallup and pay Coop? I don't think so. I think Coop already paid off. If
Shout to Philly.
give it a Pitts. If it's there, give it a Pitts.
All right. Okay.
BPA.
Well, all right. Boss.
We guys cry too. We got feelings. We cry.
Yeah.
Boss.
All right.
Waddle or Pitts.
Man, I'm gonna tell you my shock the world. Chase first.
Yeah, okay.
Well, no, it's Waddle or Pitts.
Waddle, then Pitts. That's my boy.
Can't do it. So
That's
you're
my
going
boy. I'm
Waddle
gonna tell you, and I can tell you
Pitts?
why on each one. So we can go with the Waddle over Pitts. Yeah, I'm going Waddle over Pitts.
Yeah.
I'm going Waddle over Pitts because I think, and I can't fight your case. Great case on red zone. I think it's also I think tight end is a sneaky need with John coming off the ACL. And
hey, boss, let me tell you this: they can't sit here and tell us we need to draft offensive tackle because of injuries, and then turn back around and say we don't need a tight end.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
No, and then when you look at Schultz, Schultz had us hyped because he went from absolutely bottom boo-boo garbage to at least average.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, just because he got consistent, we was like, woo, but it's like, but slow down. He just went from trash to consistent.
Yeah, he gave us some 2019 Witten numbers.
Yeah, he gave us. Yeah, exactly, man. And I did get that from you.
Yeah.
So you right. Like tight end is a low key sneaky need to where nobody should be mad at Pitts. That just makes sense.
Okay.
I will want to go with Waddle because we both talking kind of X's and O's strategy. I think that with Kelly Moore, it adds another dimension.
Can't teach speed.
Yeah, you can't teach speed, and then it's not just his speed; it's also his change of direction. It's the closest to heel, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody that has that one-step acceleration, and he also gives you excellent special teams, like excellent, like
upgrade immediately, impact,
and like
Pollard goodbye.
Pollard bye, and then also. I think he low-key helps Zeke. So when you got somebody like that and you using him on jet sweeps and you using him to stretch the defense, it makes everybody honest. Because if he goes in motion, and everybody go account for that, they go say he's moving. But when everybody's accounting for him, that gives Zeke the ability to come right at you. It gives our offense, in my opinion, too many different ways to attack. And now your slot becomes exponentially scary. So you got Coop out there, you got Gallup for one more year, you got Lamb out there, and you add Waddle out there, especially on like if you're trying to run it, like if you really just trying to go like a hurry up offense, and you got Zeke in that backfield like a dime, bro. Like I just don't.
It's scary.
It's scary, but I think I could even switch though to you though, because you're right. Pitts feels a direct need points because Kelly Moore go get you.
They'll get you there.
He gonna
get you. He'll get you that zone. Yeah. They'll get you that zone, but then when it gets tight, So
I can't. I might be my ego on this one, BJ. I might.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, hey, man, the one thing that let's be clear about this on both sides of the ball. The one thing that this team is missing is speed. We don't have next. And look, if we go back to the Super Bowl, right? Because that's what we got to play both these teams next year.
Right,
man. They have speed everywhere on both sides of the ball. They do. However, they also had tied in. What would you say though? Kelsey on a bad game had what?
Yeah, 10 catches, 133 on
what did Gronk do? What did Gronk do over there with that play action? 2 touchdowns.
Like, linebackers fully just took off the ball game. Like, okay,
I'll say. You know the crazy thing about this question? This is almost like asking, do you want Hill or do you want
Kelsey?
Hey, and low key, and here's the thing, boss. Boss, I don't think either one of us are wrong because I think we're both right. And it's one of those occasions that we're both right because we need speed.
We need speed,
but boy, we need that guy in that middle of the field in that red zone in that tight end as well. What about you, Jay Tuck? Waddle or Pitts?
Since y'all pinned me down to Waddle, because I was going to say Chase. You know what I'm saying? Chase over everything.
Chase over everything.
Chase over everything. But I agree, BJ and Spoon. I got to go with Pitts, man, because I feel like he just brings more to the Cowboys right now. Like as far as helping with the red zone, helping in the middle of the field, giving whoever our quarterback's going to be, that security blanket. And I feel like he's going to give us also an insurance policy in case we do move on from Michael Gallup as well. So I think he's more of a priority versus Waddle. But if we get Waddle, man, it's you know me, man.
I'm not crying. I'm not
up.
crying over
Like
there.
I said, we play Tampa, we play Kansas City. I want to load up all the ammo.
All the
when
ammo.
we come up here next
all
year.
The clip. All of the clip.
The entire clip, man. So if you were to get one of those pieces, man, and based on what we've seen last year, the Mike McCarthy era, it could be a possibility we go BPA because, like Boss said, I think one of these receivers are going to slide. I feel like it's either going to Chase or it might be Waddle.
Hey, look,
or
low key,
and we got these Eagles people in the chat, so I know they kind of being some vultures looking for Pitts or Pitts.
Let me check out this chat.
Hey, watch this. In the mock that I did. Hey, look, in the mock I did last night, Devontae Smith, Waddle were both there along with Pitts.
Yeah, listen.
I still took Pitts though. So look, I'm dying on the hill. Look. Before we got here tonight, I took Pitts over Smith and Waddle, and I'm here tonight taking Pitts still over Waddle.
Can we play this game one more time? One more run. I want to play one more though, but change just a little bit. Chase or Pitts. Can we do that?
I'm gonna look. I'm still gonna look. I told you I'm gonna down this hill, so I can't backpedal now.
Yeah,
I said I'm gonna down the hill. I'm down on the Pitts hill. I'm down on the Pitts hill regardless. I'll hang up and listen.
I'm Chase a million times.
I'm Chase, man.
Without even blinking. Like, did y'all see me blink?
No, not at all.
You just didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Without blinking.
Because Richard said that question, what about corner? Go back and watch what LSU that boy Chase did versus Surtain and Diggs and see
man, he murdered all the first round corners.
Even Odell came out and said when he went to the national championship game, and when he got in trouble for a couple of little things, but he said it. He said, "Yo, Chase is a bad man." Now Jefferson, he, in my opinion, he showed up, but he was in Chase's shadow. But Chase is that damn good. Now Chase and Pitts, that's a God.
Are you taking? Where are you going? Am I about to be the lone wolf? You about to give me the howl? Am I about to be the lone wolf?
Put the hat on, bro.
Now, where's the lone wolf hat at? I'll put it on.
How can you pass on somebody that killed?
Hey man,
all the first round corners.
Look, again, just because. Hey, I'm not taking one of those corners, so I ain't got to worry about it. Hold on. Two. I do have Amari Cooper and CD Lamb. Dadgummit. I need that guy in the middle, man. I need that. Look,
you got one.
Hold on.
Chase.
No. I'm fine. I need that side
nickel back.
Boy, can you imagine? Boy, man, just imagine Dak with those wide receivers, and then he gets a real legitimate guy like Pitts. Oh my goodness!
Can you imagine Dak going with Chase? Going against the Anthony Browns of the other team?
Right.
That's automatic.
Right.
BJ, you my dog, but I'm gonna go with Chase.
Get the lone wolf.
It's Chase, bro. Like I said, BJ, I've been on this Pitts train with you, man.
All right.
That Chase train pull up.
Y'all remember that movie? Y'all remember that movie, Throw Mama from the Train? Boy, I tell you what, Jay Tuck just said, throw Knicks from the train.
I got to go with the Chase. So
that's all right.
Y'all want to do it one more time? Y'all want to do one more?
Let's go. I got time. I'm good.
Yeah, I like this.
Run it back.
This is real war room fights.
Right.
So, because this could happen too. You got to be ready for these scenarios.
Run it back.
D. Smith fall or Pitts?
Man, I'm the lone wolf already. It don't matter. Y'all know. Look, y'all go ahead. Y'all already know. Man, I'm telling you, it's Pitts over any wide receiver that gets there. That's where I'm at for this team. That's where I'm at. Y'all go ahead. I'll hang up and listen for the third time.
I'm going Pitts for this one.
Okay, I'm not the lone wolf.
Yeah, I think I'm Pitts too, man. Because like I said, when it comes to wide receiver, I was Chase. Chase was that only wide receiver. I'm just like, I'm all the rules.
No, you even broke the rule on the opt-out rule.
Opt-out rule, none of that, bro. Chase. Okay, cool.
Here's look, and let's give some substance here. Why even here's my thing with Smith. Look, he's probably going to go and have a great career. I'm not dissing the kid whatsoever. I do take into consideration when a guy's a senior, though. I just do. And whenever these guys are senior, you should dominate when you're a senior, right? So for me, a little bit of Smith. Look, I'm not saying he's not going to be a great wide receiver in this league and do great things, but some of that for me, like now, if we want to pivot off of and take Pitts out of there and say, oh well, hey, is it Chase, Waddle, or Smith? Smith would be at the very tail end of that for me, just because again, that's just something that I do personally. Right. Look, and I think he had an amazing season. I don't think Ohio State's defense is as great as people want to talk about. I don't think Wade is really that good. I think he's more or less a safety in the league than he is a corner, so on and so forth. So, look, I like Smith, but I just, again, you did as a senior, as a fifth-year senior, you did what you were supposed to do in that program.
Tyler, don't do that, bro, because we talking about my 40 time. I'll gas you too. So,
4-1 speed right here.
What was it? So I got you for you taking J Tuck and Spoonie. I'm gonna take my guy J Tuck versus Spoonie in the 40-yard dash. My guy J Tuck started talking about running 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. I'm like,
that's coming up, man. I'm trying to get. I might just do 24 hours though, man. That 48.
I was like,
that's a lot of running.
Yeah, it is.
Bruh.
Well, before I let y'all go, man, I want to talk about the linebacker position because that's the area I've been looking at. So I know, boss, you said you mentioned a few guys.
I'm going to cut you. I'm sorry. Let me ask this real quick because we talked about quarterbacks a little bit there, and we were talking about those top guys. Let's pivot off there real quick because since we got boss here, and he's ran through some
other guys. Yeah.
I mean, look, if we're going quarterback, let's start circling. Let's say we got 2 compensatory picks in the 3rd round, or 1. Excuse me, we got 2 3rd-round picks. Is there a guy that you would target a quarterback in the 3rd round? Boss, or
it depends on who's sitting there. Like,
who would you like in the 3rd? I don't think Jones is going to fall that far. What about Trask out of Florida if he falls?
Oh, Kyle?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's Dak too. He's exactly who I'm thinking about when I say that you go have a franchise quarterback that's going to mess around and be in the 3rd round. I'm taking Florida quarterback 1,000 times. I pray to God he falls to the 3rd. If he falls to the 3rd, you better take him. I mean, like, to me, when I look at him and I look at Dak, I look at identical game. I mean, because you see all the fundamentals, man. He's on his toes. He's real soft. He goes through all his progressions. He has great touch. He aired the balls out, really well. And then he was similar to Dak to where he was just thrown in the fire and was like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it says a lot about his preparation. I don't think he's getting enough love. I don't think he's getting enough draft love. Like, if they wanted to, they could. They could boost him like anybody else. If they just decided to put all the highlight on him, he would immediately start rising very quickly. Because you can't, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. Everybody might think different. Yeah. But I don't see how you go look at his tape and then just give him massive separation from the other 4 quarterbacks. I don't see that. I see they all kind of in the same.
Right. Oh, Lee with the Ian Book or Trask. Definitely Trask for me. Ian Book did himself no favors, in the Senior Bowl. And, I looked for a lot from Ian Book this year coming back, and I thought he was going to make a jump from last year to this year. To me, in the tape that I saw in the games that I watched from Ian Book, I didn't see the next progression forward this season from Ian Book. So definitely Trask for me on that front.
Safety blanket if you Kyle Trask, and then you have Kyle Pitts out there,
Oh, Kyle connection.
Yeah, link them back up, man. So,
all right. I just want to throw that one out, boss.
That's Trask all day.
Yeah, because that's good. I guess we have. And honestly, man, our quarterback was one of those positions. Like, we're cool, because we got our quarterback, and we're going to focus, but. It sounds like it's something you need to pay some attention to, man.
And here's the thing. I think what would happen is if Dak is going to play on the tag.
Right.
I don't think they're going to go quarterback at 10. Right. But then you got to open your eyes. Right. Go back to the Washington football team. Yeah. You took Robert Griffin. Right. But you also kind of backdoored and took Kirk Cousins, though, as well. Right. And I kind of look at that of, well, look, we got Dak on this tag. We're not going to put all of our eggs in this top 10 pick or move up and go get a guy. I think to me, what'll signal some stuff is we look at that 3rd round where they got 2 picks in the 3rd round, and you see a quarterback there, and they go take him. That's going to kind of give us an idea of them trying to help and supplement themselves a la Taco when you didn't have the D-Law deal done, right? And you said, well, let's get Taco because he plays D-Law's position. We can't get it done. Well, let's get a quarterback in case we just can't get it done with Dak. So that's where I'm kind of looking. If you're going to look for the Cowboys and a quarterback in this draft, if it's going to be Dak on the tag, to me, it's that third round. To me is what I got highlighted.
With one of those comp picks. Cool.
Right.
Cool. All right. So linebacker position, man. That's the position I play, man. I want to talk about the linebackers.
You play linebacker?
Yeah, I play linebacker,
outside
man.
linebacker and tight end, baby.
Oh,
Let's
man.
go. Let's fire
I
it
need
up.
to definitely do more shows and shit.
Yeah, linebacker, man. That's my spot. So, Knicks, I know where you're at as far as the joke. That's your guy. Spoon. I haven't really got your linebacker. I know, boss. You mentioned Michael Parsons. That's your number one linebacker coming this year.
Easily.
Okay, and then
to me,
Spoon, you're Collins, right? Spoon,
yeah,
Collins,
David
right?
Collins.
So, you know what I'm saying? I want to get, boss, your take on this.
Who's your guy, sir? Don't you get off the hook here. Who's your number one?
My
guy?
number one, I like Nick Bolton, to be honest with you. That's
okay.
One of my favorite linebackers.
I love it. There we go. We got 4 guys, 4 linebackers.
You know, when I watch everyone, I like Bolton, man. And, I made my, video on Cameron McGrone, but that's later down the road. So I want to see, was there any, day 2 guys that's on your guys' radar that you think that the Cowboys could plug in maybe in that third round?
I don't know if
kind of flying under the radar.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes it to the third. We kind of talked about it, boss. He's from Ohio State.
Browning.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Ohio State.
Yeah. So you think he's shooting up now? Because I'm hearing his name mentioned quite a lot, and I feel like once that's starting to happen, eyes are starting to get on him.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I don't know if he'll make it to the third, but boy, if he's sitting there in the second round, depending on what we do in the first round, I ain't mad at it, boss.
I hate the class.
Yeah,
I hate the class. I mean, I just hate the class. And see, I was gonna ask y'all a question. I'm glad you finishing the show on linebacker. If when they do one of those shows where they have the top 5 of every position, every year they go find 5 regardless.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a top 5. Who cares what round they're in, right?
Yeah, and that's but they go hype them. Is my point.
Right.
Linebackers the hype class to me this year. That's what Ma's saying. I feel like it's because we talked about this with Big Game James, BJ.
Yep.
There's a major problem with this class when Byron Browning is shooting up.
Yep.
Because in any normal class, he should be just based on what he went through, fair or not. He should be a 4th rounder because but right now he could be 3rd, 2nd because it's a scarce draft.
Right.
I honestly think you don't even want to answer linebacker in the draft. You want to answer linebacker in free agency because if you go into this draft like we need to draft somebody, we go reach. You see what I'm saying? But to answer your question, I would be very cool with Byron Browning, yes, in the 3rd. Very cool with him. Nick Bolton, I had a 2nd and 3rd round grade on him, but I kept hearing the chirping. I went and looked at him again, and I started seeing why people was high on him.
Right.
I think he shows great flash.
Right.
Great flash. And I don't even think he playing at 100% because help me out, Tuck, because you played the position. But from mine, it looked like he diagnosing a little bit too long. But once he goes,
yeah.
He
And that's the thing. You see the intellect. He it's like a half a second too late, but his motor, man. And I like when I watch linebackers. That's when I made my video on Cameron McGrone. I like high motor, just intangibles, man, that can get off of blocks and make the right read. And when he comes downhill, And I know the big knock on Bolton is his size, especially at the middle linebacker position, man. But I'm really not a measurements guy, man. Can you ball? When I watch you, can you play the game of football? And I feel like when I watch Nick Bolton, that's what I see, man. I see a smart linebacker that comes downhill and is not afraid to get dirty.
Well, I mean, if we're not worried about size, why are we worried about my guy Joker then?
I'm
not
worried about size.
I ain't that concerned. Like I said, y'all know my favorite corner, Asante Samuel Jr.
That's preach.
So it's like, man, can you ball? And that's where I'm at with it because
you can't knock Sammy Tate.
Right.
No,
right.
At all.
Right.
Yeah,
I got
I feel like I'll be reaching all over on linebacker. I got some
linebacker. Here's the thing. For what we need, a linebacker is a problem because a lot of these linebackers are 2 down guys that they can't cover.
Right.
I mean, that's just what it comes down to when we talk about this class. They can't cover. Like for instance, for me personally, and we're getting a little in the weeds here. I like a guy like Monty Rice out of Georgia personally. right? I mean, look, he's 6'1", 235, but again, he's a guy like you got to worry about him in coverage, y'all. He's great. I mean, look against the run, getting off blocks, different things. It's fantastic. You know, he gets a lot of things to you, but I mean, again, against the pass, man, it's just rough. There's not very many guys. There's not very many. Back to Boston, talking about this class. There's not a lot of 3-down linebackers in this class.
Yeah,
it's scary.
And there is your issue. You know, I mean, what do we think? Right? We think Parsons. We think Bolton. We think Joker. Is there another guy in there you think is a 3-down linebacker?
Yep.
Maybe
Give it to me.
Joseph Oso.
Okay.
Now that's a risk though.
Yeah.
He's risky. He's risky because I would be making a pick with him like we was asking to do with TJ. See, because TJ, as I always said, we should have picked TJ, but TJ wasn't an easy pick, bro, because we was a 4-3 defense under Rod Marinelli, and we was saying that we was gonna take an outside linebacker from a 3-4 defense and imagine him with his hand in the ground. Like, it's easy to say that when we doing this for fun.
right.
But when you got to sit up there and you sitting up there and Steven looking you dead in your damn face, and he's saying, so explain to me why you think this guy gonna be able to make that transition to his hand in the ground with no evidence,
right?
And you quiet as fuck. So so it wasn't an easy pick, as we say,
right?
But it was the right pick, right?
Right.
So some of these picks, sometimes you got to put your nuts on the line and say, I'm betting on this football player. I'm betting this dude is just so quality because he's just so explosive to me. And that's me. When I watch Joseph Oso, I see an extremely underrated ass linebacker in a weak class. So if it was a guy I would take a chance on.
And he's got the size, right? Was he's
man,
like
6'4", 255.
253.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He's got the size.
Yeah, and the only person that I ever saw dog him was a mean ass left tackle, bro. That was it. And the only thing they did is move him on the other side. He went off. You know what I mean? That's exactly what they did. So my top two line, and then I'm even low key back high on Dylan Moses. Now I killed him.
Oh, talk to me. Okay, talk to me.
Yeah, I killed him, but me and BJ corrected me. No, I don't know if it was you, but we had a good talk. I know.
Yeah. We talked about
Dylan Moses. Is that is we was talking about a throttle down probably happened with him, because if you go look at his previous tape, and BJ, he was saying that's also a big exercise on him, is he don't just get too high on the scene tape. You got to look at the junior sophomore tape, because I made some mistakes. I'm gonna be honest on this show, like I was honest on Big James show. It's a couple of people I missed defensively because I was too hard on them as seniors. Like I was super hard on Myles Garrett, and I was super hard on Bosa one, the big brother. But from doing this a while, I started learning, man, some of these boys be throttling down because you paying for, when you know you already had a high grade, you playing for a lottery ticket, and you really don't want to give it all to the NCAA.
Right.
So some of these guys got the ability to turn it on, and Dylan Moses showed us that he can turn it on like that. You know what I'm saying? And coming off that ACL injury, I was watching this tape as a senior, and I put down as under my notes, I said, doesn't run to the ball, plays a horrible effort, and take plays off. You know what I mean? That's one of my top notes under him. And then like I was like, well, with the, I had to start looking like, no, that's actually a steal. You know what I mean?
Right.
But would
a lot of this is COVID tape for us this year too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he's one with the previous tape coming from that program, where I've witnessed enough dog in him, and in the leanness of this class, hell yeah, I pray to God we get him if we have to. So if I doubt Joseph also sitting there in round 2, but if he is, I would absolutely pick him. And then honestly, I would have to then reach for Dylan Moses, because if you don't,
you're not going to get him.
You're not going to get him, and then you're going to be reaching for linebacker period if you walk into it with need. Or you're going to be betting on the athlete, which is a good athlete, Byron Browning. That's a great athlete. That's a good one to take a chance on if it slips into the third. But because it's so rare, me and BJ talked about this last time, they might swoop him early. So now you'll be sitting there lean as hell.
I mean, low key. When look in the mock draft I did, man, just linebacker wasn't there. I couldn't get one where we were positioned. And the thing that I found myself doing a lot this year, going through my grading process, man, I have looked at a ton of their tape from 2019, not just seniors. I think across the board, just in general, not for guys that opted out. Man, it's just such a different year and everything. And I said, if I grade them just specifically off of the 20 tape, I don't think I'm doing my due diligence. I think I gotta try to find a way for the 2019 tape to get in here, get into a mix, and then figure it out from there somewhat. Like, I can't just trust 20. I can't just trust 19. I gotta look at both on some of these guys and find out in the middle in what my eyes and what I think that I believe in a little bit on these guys, which is another guy like Jabril Cox from LSU.
Right.
Another guy that I think can come in here and maybe do some things. I think I'm on the cusp of saying he's a 3-down linebacker. I'm not all the way sold, but I think he's a guy from LSU that can be a 3-down linebacker. But again, this might be, as we talk about defense, maybe more than anything else, this might need to be the position that we address at free agency.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Get it out the way so that we're not reaching anywhere.
Because we need the depth.
And the free agent class is not bad this year for linebacker.
Yeah.
I've already started going through it because obviously writing the book, I want to present both cases and create a strategy. And the strategy to me is clear: get your linebackers out the way. Now the problem too, and I'm gonna say this too. I think all of us graders this year, I don't believe in excuses, but this is a year that I think most people should get a mulligan.
Right.
Most people should get a mulligan because it's super hard to evaluate this year. Because I know after the combine and after the Senior Bowl, I do change my ranks. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm waiting on your speed to confirm what I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I see a guy and I like his tape, and then his clock is so bad that I throw him out my book.
Right.
Like, for real.
You got to go.
You got to go. Like, that happened to one of my receivers for UT. Remember they had that big receiver, the two big receivers?
Yep.
I can't remember their name.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
But man, one of them ran so damn slow. I was like, man, no. And I'm talking about he could not get under that ball for nothing. They were leaving it up there too for him. He just go run under it. He just didn't have the speed. So but this year, sadly, he probably would have been in my book and I would have looked a damn fool. You know what I'm saying? So we honestly, as outside graders, we already, as much as possible, thumbing through trying to find as much as possible anyway, which is hard. Mm-hmm. But then you add in there COVID, which shorten your film review. Mm-hmm. Then you add in there no combine, which you really can't get your last checks and balances. Then they move the Senior Bowl up. So damn, I wasn't even finished really looking at all of them before. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to go back and review the Senior Bowl after you finish. Yeah. So it's like everybody that said they was ready for the Senior Bowl this year, likely you was lying unless you started in October, you know? So it's like a mulligan year to me. Like this is a year to where, hey, I'm going to put the book out there and I'm going to definitely do my best to be super sound. But at the same time, like, because Jefferson last stamp for me, and this is where I made him my #1 receiver last year, was his combine. That was the last stamp that was like, he just checked every damn box. You know what I mean? And when because I remember even when he ran his 40 last year and they said, we don't think this guy's gonna because he came in with that 4.4. You know what I'm saying? Because DJ was, I don't think this guy's numbers go and they did that. I said, yeah, and he killed the he everything. He was fluid. I said, man, this guy's a gamer, bro. Wherever you put him, he shows up, bro. And the combine is pressure. And so I want to see, what do you do when the lights on you in Indianapolis? You got to catch every ball for your grade. So it's hard for all of us this year. You know what I mean? So for anybody that get these sleepers right this year, you need to go work for the Cowboys.
And look, and I know Jay Tuck, you like some guys out there from Michigan.
Yeah, I saw your Michigan linebacker. He wasn't on my list. What's his name?
Cameron McGrone, man.
I saw that. Cameron McGrone. I need to go look at him.
Like I said, I was looking at Goody, man, one night, and he stood out. I was like, man, who's that? But like I said, the thing is like he played last year, 2019, I think about 14 games, give or take. And then the Big Ten had probably, 6 games this year. So it's just like, it's kind of hard to adjust, man. And, you're watching film and ain't nobody in the crowd versus the tenacity he plays with last year. So it's really hard to engage, man. But I've been watching his intangibles and everything, and he just one of those guys that stood out. That
Cameron can be that steal.
Right, that late third round steal with one of those comp picks, man. And he's kind of a, from what I've seen, he could be a 3-down linebacker, but he's really just raw. He's just really raw. He's gonna be a project. Don't expect instant impact. He'll probably maybe be a special teams guy, but he's one of those guys who can add depth. And I like him, man. So that's my guy. So
I definitely check him out.
Yeah,
Spoonie,
man.
Who's your guy at linebacker? Xavier Collins. You think 3-down linebacker was Xavier?
Yeah, Xavier's definitely my guy. But I like KJ Britt the way he played at the Senior Bowl. Very active. A lot of guys had to make their money just to basically play in the Senior Bowl over here. He played 3 downs. The hustle was there. The vision was there. His reaction, and those are the things that we need. Especially, we need a linebacker who's going to stay healthy throughout the season. When you look at Dan Quinn, he had KJ Wright, he had Bobby Wagner. Those guys they still balling to this day. They always available, and that is exactly what we need. We're gonna need somebody like that. And when I saw KJ Britt during the Senior Bowl, I was like, you know what? That's probably a later round pick, and probably in the 4th round, maybe. But he may be earning the right to go to the 3rd round. Listen, I was about to ask y'all about how do y'all feel about players who didn't play this year, and like who would need to perform the biggest at the combine because they may slip, like Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. He basically was the best corner coming into this year. He didn't play. Now they got 13 over him.
Right.
But the issue is the back spasms, the injuries of that in 2018 or 19. So now, they say he has the biggest upside between him and J.C. Horn. They got him over Surtain in some mocks. But do you feel he's the type of guy that has to perform this to prove the critics wrong and make his stamp that he's the best corner in this draft?
Man, I'm out on. I mean, man, he's got a high ceiling. Don't get me wrong. At 10, I'm out on corner, period. And I'm just going to keep my stance there. I'm out on corner, period, at 10.
But I would say he does because I think the biggest, pro towards him is that he has the athleticism, his speed. And so if he doesn't test out and show those proper numbers, and he had an opt-out season, and he talked about those injuries and back spasms at that 10 spot, I think a lot of people will probably be skeptical about that. So I think he does going to need a pro day because you're starting to see, I think we're slowly seeing Surtain becoming the cornerback 1 in this draft. So yeah, man.
Yeah, and Surtain, he go get a pass.
Yeah.
See, he go get a pass. Like, Surtain is the one who needs that combine. You see what I'm saying? See, because my eyes and everybody else's eyes, because I've heard multiple people say this as I kind of peeked out of my hole, it's just long speed is questionable.
Right.
Y'all remember, I forgot remember about 2 years ago, the Wilson and the other kid from Florida had the amazing tape.
Oh, yeah,
Henderson.
CJ Henderson.
Yeah. And it was about 2 years ago, so it wasn't CJ because CJ bust the clock. It was a couple of other corners about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I can't remember the names now. One of them went to Detroit, and I forgot, but they ran like 4.7.
Akuda, right? You talking about last year?
No, about 3 years,
2 years ago.
But they was, man, they tape was, man, they were killing on tape, man. Pigs taking it to the crib, dogs. Everybody was like, they gonna be top first rounders, man. Them boys got up there, man, ran them low 4.7s.
Buccaneers. That's where he went to the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got released and went to Houston.
Yeah. You remember what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Tabor. Yeah, there he is.
Tabor. You Tabor's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's Tabor.
Yeah. And so you ask who need that combine? Surtain. And see, right now, Surtain might go under the radar as a turtle ass corner. Right. You know what I mean? Because if you can walk in the league a turtle and get first round money, you won.
Right.
You won. So I think he's somebody that needs to combine low key chase. Being off a year. Cause see, one guy that was a radio host down here a little while ago, we was talking about a corner that I looked up to from Dallas Carter named Clifton Abraham, who killed at Florida State. And I'm looking out for my big brother. I'm like, man, what you think will happen with him? He said, hey man, I don't know. He said, because it's two types of guys. And I never forgot this. He said, you got two types of guys after they finish their bowl game. You got the guys who get the agent money and they already act like they in the league and they party and they smoke a pound of dope and they run one of those all day 40s.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have those guys that's gym rats to where they really take it serious. They love football and they go bust it.
Right.
So I think Chase needs to show that I had an Olympic style work ethic for a whole year. And and that says a lot about you, because if you took this whole year off, and I know how it goes from a college perspective, playing in Division I, when you working with agents in college, it's illegal, but they do it. Right.
Oh yeah, come on, yeah, we know.
Yeah, right. They did do it. But the agents front you.
Right.
Right. And they get it back once you sign.
Right.
So you get to live like you in the league in college.
Right.
So it's go show what kind of person you are. Was you out here in the streets? Was you out here with your bins and you know what I mean? Was you having menages and all kind of foolish? And I don't mean to kind of get that deep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm just saying, what kind of person are you in terms of, are you a gym rat football? I like boring guys. I want boring football player.
Right.
I don't want the guys who trying to also still be hood superstars. You know what I mean? I want the guys who I'm disciplined about my craft. So he's also somebody that needed. It's two more linebackers that I don't think I didn't hear nobody talk about. I want to bring them up.
I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Shoot him.
What'd you say, Spoon?
One from North Carolina, Sherrod.
No, man. No, I'm halfway on him, man.
Okay,
halfway on him. Gary Wallow.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. All right.
TCU.
Yeah.
TCU. Nobody talking about him. That dude's gonna be a starter in the NFL. He's gonna be a starter in the NFL. I think he has some of the best film out this class. And then another person that's a low-key sleeper to me is Nate Landman from Colorado. Look up both of those guys. Garrett Wallow, Nate Landman. They're both. Garrett is more starter material. I'm telling you, Garrett is gonna because and both of them they diagnose. And I would definitely want you to look at it playing linebacker, Tuck, because you know. And I'm being all the way transparent, man. I'm not fronting like I know everything. Like when I know linebacker is probably where I'm weakest. Just being honest, like because in my film room in Division I, we dealt with the back four. We didn't deal with as much 7 stuff and A gap, B gap stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna know your keys better than me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
I
don't know the keys that they're looking at. I'm just judging athleticism.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, boss, it's a great thing that you're able to even give insight on some of the no-name players. A lot of fans get stuck with the first round too much and not understand why in certain positions we don't want to touch that. We get later on in the round because some don't know, and it's okay, but it's also great to research. You will understand it's a strategy.
Yeah.
If you got 2 or 3 guys in that same position, they don't separate for much. It's the reason why one wasn't touching the first round. A lot of fans they get so caught up with just the popular guy, and that's it. So when we get questions like, so the Cowboys are not taking a defensive player in this draft. Well, a lot of times when we research, our answer would be, well, it's not a star defensive player that would change like an Aaron Donald or Ramsey. The offensive players are really legit. Now we have there's again Gallup situation about getting trade. His confidence coming up. The tight end position. If Chase falls or Pitts fall, and we get one of them, is a reason why, because there's other guys that we researched.
Yeah,
right.
You get in later round, and a lot of fans don't understand that. This is why the same question always comes up since the offseason. Why are we, when we do mocks, why are we not touching defensive players in the first round?
Right.
Exactly. I mean, that's a great point, because I think early on the people that was so dead set on defense at 10 was the people that did no research. They was just basically saying that on pain. Right. It was the pain of what happened this season. Like, you guys are fools.
Right.
But the rest of us who've already was looking within the top 10, 15,
like,
20 type talent, we was like, it's just not there. I'm
Right.
sorry, bro. It's like, if Jalen Ramsey was here, I'd be lobbying for him.
Yeah,
if Bosa was here,
Hey.
I'd be lobbying for him. But they not here.
And that's
Parsons the closest one to me.
Right. And look, and to be clear about this draft, right? You know, and I posted some things about the Bucks and what they've done free agency wise over the past couple of years. And like, hey, man, you got to get active in free agency. But be clear on their last 3 drafts, top 4 rounds. Go to 28. I'm going to do 2018, 2019, 2020. In 18, round 4, Whitehead. What is he? Starting safety, right? All right. Kappa hit. Davis hit. They missed on MJ, the cornerback from North Carolina. They missed on him in round 2. Rojo, running back, solid, right? And then you hit round 1, Vita Vea. Okay.
Yeah.
2019. Don't know about Nelson yet. You got Edwards hit. Dean, how's he doing for you in the secondary? All right. SMB, we saw what he did. All right, second round. And then obviously White in the first round. And then this last draft, Vaughn may be a miss. Got to wait and see on him. But you got Winfield in the second round, Mr. Peace, right? And then you got Wirfs in the first round. So you know the last, and you wonder why they won, right? On top of, you know, they added a Sue at the defensive tackle next to Vita Vea, right? You know, they went and got a JPP. They went and got a Bennett, old Shaq over there, free agency, right? So I mean, it has to be, and this is the thing that I keep trying to preach as we're talking about this daggum draft. Yeah, we do a fairly decent job at drafting overall. We do. But unless you're going to add to the other side of it, you're not going to win. They had a great past 3 top 4 round drafts. Okay. And but they drafted D tackle and back end and middle. They invested in the middle of their team. And that's the problem in Dallas. Unless, look, as we're talking about this draft, right? You can get a D tackle after the first round.
Right.
You can get a safety. You get a safety. You get a safety after the first round.
Right.
Okay. But for what we need, it's not there in the first round. That's why we've talked about the Waddle. We've had the Waddles, the Chases, right? The Pitts of the world, you know. And of course, we just have to understand. We're looking at linebacker. We're talking about linebacker, and it's not there in spades, unfortunately. Maybe you get a Parsons at 10, and hence why I'm saying I'm a linebacker over cornerback right now at 10. If we're not going offense, that's where I'm at. I want a linebacker. Then we have to get the front 7 fixed first. Look, the Cowboys actually had a better. Go look it up if you don't believe me. Had a better passing defense in yardage per game than the Bucks did this year. Those are facts.
Right.
I posted them. You go look them up. You don't believe me. Where the Bucks excelled, number 1 against the rush.
Right.
That's where they are. And that's what we have to fix. And that's what we got to figure out. Their front 7 was dominant. And we have to be able to do the same things to get there.
On a consistent basis.
Can we talk about this a little bit more, man?
Yeah, go ahead. Y'all got time. I got time, man.
All right.
Keep cooking. Go ahead.
Because see that we like our guys stuff. That's where we keep getting trapped.
Facts.
BJ.
We like Lee. He didn't play for 8 fucking games.
We like our guys. It's like
we like Crawford.
But that applies to everybody but the quarterback. You know.
But this is what hurts, to BJ's point, man. When you see Sue from 2 years ago lobby to be in Dallas,
had the jersey on,
you might as well give us a lap dance. You're begging for so much.
Right.
Who was that?
And Sue.
Yes.
And Sue was a classic mercenary. He will go fight for whoever go give him the $1 year dollar.
Right.
But we get to where after we draft, that's why I call the offseason the time of illogical optimism. And I see it every year in Dallas. Like, we do stuff like, oh, we're good. We don't need Thornhill because we feel like Tristan Hill is going to be impactful so early that we don't need safety.
Right.
It's illogical. And so now, BJ, I always stand with you on that. And Sue, again, is going to be a free agent, one of my top free agents, when I think is a mercenary. You know, this is though one of those years where I do like our guys though in the middle, but but it was so bad I wouldn't be mad if they went ahead and put some more insurance in it.
Yeah,
like like I like our guys, but let's add to it just to be certain. Because if we can stop the run, I think it opens up everything.
Right.
I think it opens up everything. And yeah, man, that's a major travesty in Dallas is that we really don't make the even impactful middle players.
Right.
Yep.
We just don't do it. And you right, you saw Tampa do it. They said we go control this middle.
Right.
Right.
We drafted just enough to make sure we're good. Okay, what are we lacking? We're going to bring those in via free agency. Look, and be clear, they didn't draft Shaq.
Right.
They signed him. He had 19 and a half sacks. I said, okay, we can't pay you. You know what, though? You ain't leaving yet. Here's that tag, though.
Right.
Right? And, you brought JPP in, so there's your edges. You drafted Vea. All right, well, we're going to go sign us too.
Right.
Look, imagine this. You got Levante David already. Nah, we're good. We're good. No, they went and got White still in the first round to put with David in that middle linebacker position.
Right.
So they just invested, for us, we draft safeties in the 6th round. Hey, Donovan Wilson's paid off so far. Xavier Woods, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Now, you know. Put him in the trash.
Right, exactly. So it's just like, again, it's a copycat league. I'm not saying you need to go copy what they did. That's not what I'm saying at all. But at the end of the day, I can take a different team that didn't win the Super Bowl and they're ran competently enough to understand, hey, we got to get better here. They're going to draft it. They're going to go in and they're not going to just go get a Band-Aid, if you will, in free agency. They're going to go get something that's solidified to help the team. And that's where we just lacked tremendously on all different fronts. I mean, at the end of the day, if you wasn't going to pay Dak, you might as well sign Byron Jones and kept him here.
Right.
We wouldn't even be talking about corner right now.
Right.
I've never lost any sleep until Stephen Jones took over. And even at the safety spot, it is so bad they had me pass out flyers to please sign to trade for Jamal Adams at the time, Minka Fitzpatrick. And when you go ahead and explore the trade idea, you're basically telling us you don't like what you have.
Right.
And that's fine. Explore. Right.
Yeah.
Now, year after year after year, the response is we like our guys, but you don't because you keep exploring the trade. Now, again, as Cowboys fans, we're not there. We're not there at the office, right? We're not hearing somebody, give us the input. We're reading between the lines. The clues are right there.
Yeah,
right.
And it's clear as hell.
Like, what are we seeing?
Right.
Trash.
Yeah,
and that's the frustrating part.
We gotta say,
you have a need because you keep trying to address it.
Right.
You need a safety.
But so go address it. They have steps.
See, the elephant in the room is Dallas favoritism, bro. That's the elephant in the room that we just honestly got to talk about and be just as angry about as we are about Dak. That there's that the ego and the soft skills of the Joneses are the killers of our potential.
Right.
Because now we look back in hindsight and go read, because I put this on my show last week and I almost want to kick my show every time I read it. Is they literally said this about the Honey Badger, that he is not the playmaker that everyone thinks he is, and he's not a fit for our scheme.
Right.
I quote.
Yeah.
Maybe a little words off here and there.
It's close enough. It's in the right scheme.
Yeah, it's in the right family. He's not a scheme fit. So, and then after that, then you get this guy making them, all pro, 2 years later, Pro Bowl consistently, game record, almost every game.
Right.
Yeah, he fit.
Right.
And then they named the guys and said, we believe Heath. And see, I said our fan base so damn silly. We call Heath the GOAT. Like, what the hell wrong with us? And we be over here like I like our guys. And then they did it again. So it's certain positions. Like I was watching them do it with linebacker last year. They was lying in our face telling us that they was good at linebacker. And I was like, no, all your linebackers are made of glass, and it's obvious. LVE was made of glass, Lee was made of glass, and Luke Gifford was made of glass.
Right.
And then You got rid of the guy that was your greatest value, and that was Malcolm Smith. You won. You won.
Got
He
him cheap.
balled. He was, and you could have brought him back easy. You let him out the door because your favorite guy, Sean Lee, who y'all want to be the future coach, so you go keep him on the field, and you go let his ass retire when he wants to. He waiting to tell y'all when he ready to go.
Still,
that's what kind of shit we do in Dallas. Is we let our favorites like witness our favorites. So you want to leave? Okay, go ahead. Oh, you want to come back? Okay, come back.
Right.
So is that going to hurt Blake Jarwin? Yeah, but hey,
and whenever Witten came back, it was like, well, he's coming back. He's going to go play by 25, 30%.
Yeah, and then your ass going back out another 80% of the snaps again. Like, God damn. Then we all know it, and it's like, man, like it's really getting to a point, man. It's going to break us, bro. Like
it's like I told Tuck. Sean Lee looking at this scheme saying, man, this is my type of party. I ain't going nowhere. Look, this scheme. Right. Oh, I love this scheme. Man, I'm ready to play another 2 years. Right. I'm ready. And that's scary, man.
Because I tell people, man, it's like I remember when I was a kid and it finally just clicked, like I said on Twitter, when I saw that wrestling was fake. And I feel like right now, as an adult, I'm just looking at the Cowboys like, man, this is some fake, you know what I'm saying?
You can't get up for this, bro.
That light came on that fake Gucci belt. You figured out that Gucci belt was fake.
It just don't look right. You know what I'm saying? Who paid?
And even when Georgia Local came in here, you remember that? Georgia Local was the best safety day one, bro. But they treated him like an absolute scrub.
Because he wasn't one of them.
Yeah, and then, they liked Heath. And they was, because Heath measures well. He jump out the gym.
But he should have been free safety, not strong safety.
And he should have been free. Like, and then it's the biggest favoritism mystery to me, which ain't never made no sense, was Anthony Brown. That's the worst one by a mile. How they treated Jordan Lewis compared to Anthony Brown is a damn shame, bro.
Right.
Because even Anthony Brown with injuries and all that kind of stuff, whenever he came back, they roll him right back out there. Right. And, I was on a late night hype with Tyler Patman, and I was able to get him on the show. And I was so thankful that he was a coach, because it's hard to have interviews with players that still have ambition to play, because they go kind of watch it.
Right. They gotta
they know they can't just be blatantly honest, because they still trying to stay in the league and they don't want to look like they're a locker room cancer where they air out all the ugly mail.
Right.
But he was like, I'm a high school coach, so let me tell y'all how it really is, man. That's an interview to go listen to. Go through there and go listen to it.
Because he was live on it.
Because he was saying the realest stuff ever, like how you get sick to your stomach when you know you better than this dude, but they getting ready to play him anyway because they paid him.
Right.
And it's only Dallas dumbass fans that accept that shit. Like, we the only ones that be like, well, they paid him.
Right.
Like you supposed to play him. Well, they paid Zeke, so you gotta feed him the ball. No, the fuck you don't.
Right.
No, and I'm not saying Zeke sorry. I'm just saying that whole philosophy is because you paid him. That mean that they got 3 years of just feeding their ass. Or we paid Anthony Brown. So no, you can go look across the street and see other teams don't do that. Like Westbrook was the corner that came out with a Wuze, 6'4" quality ass corner for San Fran. A young undrafted free agent came in there balling last year and they benched him.
Right.
Westbrook better than almost every corner on our team now.
Right.
But they was like, right is right, fair is fair. Win the best man is go win, whether you're undrafted or a 4th or 3rd rounder. Not in Dallas. Dallas be like, well, he gotta play. He was drafted in the second round.
We don't want to look wrong. We don't want to look wrong.
Marcus Lawrence, I make too much money. When Robert Quinn came in and said, "Are you worried about split?" He said, "I make too much money." That's the mindset with the players, and it is. You know,
if the owner ain't tripping, I ain't tripping.
Man. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all. We're going to get up out of here, man. I know people got things to do, man. But, Boss, man, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, Boss Cowboy Sports, man. We definitely have a show tomorrow. Check it out, man. I'm going to drop something so heavy, but I'm trying to figure out the timing. And I'm doing a lot of research on it to where I'm trying to make it exponential dummy proof. Now, that's a big tease I just did, but it's going to be worth it, bro. Trust me, like, and I'm a hit up everybody on her Everybody, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, hey, I just released it.
I'll
You
be
ain't
like
gotta
this.
share it. Yeah, you ain't gotta share it, but at least check it out because
Yeah.
I think it exposed a whole nother level of the dysfunction with Dak. I swear I never saw it. The
Okay.
tease is it is involving the television revenues, but I'm gonna prove it, y'all. Look, I'm being heavy into this, and once I release it, y'all go check that out, and then obviously we on YouTube as well, and then definitely check me out on my Twitter at Cowboy_boss.
Yeah, man. We
That
definitely
part.
check that out. Knicks, man. Go ahead and tell people where they can find you at.
Hey, yeah, man. Your_guy_Nix NIX on Twitter, on Instagram. Man, come like me, come follow. You know what I'm saying? I interact, I'll follow back. It don't matter, we get it in. Obviously on Facebook, Stargang is the name of the page. Like and follow the page. It's also a group. Man, come join the group. Man, we all in there. We always comment and stuff. And then of course on Twitter. Twitter, but YouTube. It's Stargame Podcast. Man, hit that sub, hit that like, so you can catch us as well. Me, Spoonie, Mariella, and tomorrow we're live at 7 tomorrow. Spoon, 8 your time.
Yes,
Is that where
8
we at? Yeah. 7 Central tomorrow. We'll be live with the Cowboys Report with me, Spoon, and Mariella. Man, come check us out and give us a follow.
Spoon.
You can find me on Twitter at Spoonie881. You can find me right at home at Star Game Podcast with BJ Nix and Miss Mariella.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at JTuck151, man. I appreciate all y'all support rocking with me. And also on YouTube, Cowboys fans only. And don't hit me for no financial advice because I ain't
What?
Dogecoin.
no Dogecoin, no Bitcoin. I ain't doing all that, man. But hey, I appreciate y'all rocking, man. This is like part one, man, because we could have kept going. And I know how we can get, man. We gonna keep y'all here all night, but we can always loop back around and come back to this conversation, man. Boss, I appreciate you guys. Nix, Spoon, you already know it's all up, man. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed, encouraged, and let's go Cowboys, man. Let's sign our quarterback, man. Free Dak, man.
Pay Dak. It ain't free Dak, it's pay Dak, damn it.
Free Dak, man. Get him
Man,
out
we
of
go
here.
raid. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, man. Hey,
Keep
I'm ready.
playing.